Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and our broadcast partner Booyah, with your hosts Blackjack and Babagusta here for our final season, finally hitting the division stages. That is right, Div 3 and the entirety of the final season gets to the real meat and potatoes today with D3 Space and Throw Syndicate starting us off for the very first day. A very interesting matchup, I have to say. D3 Space coming back to Div 3 after getting relegated a couple of seasons ago. Throw Syndicate, coming to Div 3. Coming back to Div 3 after getting relegated from Div 2. So it's going to be an interesting match. A team that got demoted versus a team that finally made it back. Let's join our players live to find out who wins on the map of Coastline in the middle of the ban phase between Throw Syndicate and D3 Space, the latter of whom on the defense have decided to ban the Nomad. Interesting first decision right here to have a Nomad ban start things off for us today. But then again, it is, of course, Coastline, a map that we actually haven't seen too much lately. I have to say, it's been more of Cafe Villa, Clubhouse in Oregon, but Coastline is definitely going to be a bit of a refresher, if you will, given that it's one of those maps and one of the few maps in the current competitive map pool that is actually attacker-sided. So it's going to make for a very interesting match between both these teams. Recently, of neither of whom I don't think we've actually seen we've seen on a Coastline game. I kind of lost my train of thought right there. Anyhow, both of the Navy SEALs will see themselves get banned, Blackbeard and Valkyrie, by Throw Syndicate, no less. So they don't want to go up against the Blackbeard when they're on defense post round 7 roll swap. And of course, they don't want to give D3 Space the advantage of having Valkyrie on Coastline. On Coastline, of course, both Valkyrie and Mira are extremely strong defenders from both an information gathering and effectiveness standpoint. So you want to get rid of them as soon as possible. And that was, that was pretty much it for the ban phase. You have the Nomad, Blackbeard, Valkyrie, and Mira. Excuse me right there. Nomad, Blackbeard, Valkyrie, and Mira are your bans for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We were going to, go into the first round. Looks like it's going to be on Hookah Billiards as well. But we had to take a quick pause, primarily because from the side of D3 Space, we had a little bit of a disconnection as we were about to go into the lobby, into the first round itself. So, a little bit of a shame that we had to immediately break for this match before we could even go in. And apparently it's not exactly going to be, a quick one, because apparently it's a power cut. So, yeah, not the best start to the final season, if you ask me. But, let's run through the rosters that are currently here, the 9 players that we have on hand. From the side of Throw Syndicate, of course, this team, we've seen them many a times before, formerly known as Gamer Syndicate, now Throw Syndicate, Killsteel, ADAT, Cheesy Chimkin, Hecko, and Buck Sarcastic. Interesting name right there. And from the side of D3 Space, we've got Whiskey, Kakashi, Abua... What? How do I pronounce that one? Abuakil?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Akil.
All right. Akil, I guess we'll just have to do Akil in that case. I have no idea what the first 3 letters are supposed to do to the word. But anyway, outside of those 3, we have Executor. That is also like... I have been staring at that name for like such a long time, and it finally clicked while I was about to say his name. Executor.illil. I don't know what that tag means. But yeah, those are the 4 players from the side of D3 Space that we have, and we just have one final player. I didn't actually get to read his name before he disconnected. Hopefully he can come back. Apparently it's going to take a couple of minutes. That's going to be a little bit of a holdup, if you will, before the action gets underway. But before it does, Baba Gusta, final season, Div 3 is beginning. What are you expecting out of this game?
Well, talking about Div 3, we actually did get to see some great actions in the qualifiers phase itself, especially on the side of D3 Space. Now, what I'm more excited about is ZFC, which is Entire Fan Club, and Exolic Esports. These two teams who have been, succeeded in getting the spot in Division 3. Now we'll be able to see what kind of performance that they're going to be giving in Division 3. Who knows, maybe they might be in the top of the leaderboards in Division 3 first spot. And also talking about the three matches that we have, I mean, in the second match itself, we have ZFC going up against Clickbait, Ground 9 Esports going up against Team Red Vipers, the team who were in Division 2, unfortunately gets relegated to Division 3. It looks like Red Vipers will make their stay and also make sure that they would try to get back. I mean, unfortunately it is season 5. The only thing that they can do is reach to the top, and that's exactly all these teams are going to be doing as of now. So all these three divisions have a lot of a lot of pressure coming in here. I mean, especially from Division 1. I mean, the main question is, will we see UG back on top again, or will LYC Valiant steal their throne? I mean, Valiance is not the only team here. We're trying to get that spot on the first position in Division 1. There is a lot of teams. You have Exterminate Esports, you even have quite a lot of teams who try to compete there in Division 1. So it is very difficult to know what's going to happen. But talking about UG, though, they are undefeated, though. Am I right, Jack? Undefeated in all 4 seasons. Will we see a fifth undefeated season from UG?
I mean, that really depends. I wouldn't necessarily say undefeated. I believe season 1 or 2 they were actually dethroned by Kira Esports. So it hasn't been a complete streak from the side of Union Gaming, but maybe they are on a 2-win streak again. Seasons 3 and 4 went to them, although mostly down to some really good round conversion scores that they had early in the season. Maybe they'll try and get off to a flying start once again. Maybe not, but that's for Division 1. Later on, all the way out at the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, there's a long time remaining. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. Looks like the last player from the side of D3 Space is back. So we'll be casting our attention back to Division 3. D3 Space, if anybody makes that connection. And it looks like the last player's name is actually Akifs, or Aakifz. So I have no idea how FZ is pronounced. I'm just going to say Akif or Akifs, if that even is be pronounced. Anyhow, a 6-wick goes out from the gridlock into the Jackal. And with that, one is underway, ladies and gentlemen, on a second floor hookah lounge and billiards room from the side of D3 Space. Here we go. The final season is finally underway. It's been a long 10 months. I mean, I guess you could say 11 months as well. We had that 1-month break between both leagues. But regardless, 10 months of solid Rainbow Six action. It's all led down to this. Who will win the WD BLACK Esports Club League for Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft, final season, stake their claim as the best in South Asia in their respective divisions, of course, And it's kind of relative at the end of the day, because while Union Gaming were the champions of the previous league, then, they had a few mishaps in the majors against Mercenaries, and there was that whole thing that happened. They were kind of in a slump. They've seemed to have come back for the time being, as Executor is going to go away. Looks like D3 Space is having some issues with disconnections today. Whiskey's taking a bit of damage. A little bit low on HP, a little bit lower than I think he wanted to be, or wants to be.
Looks like we just lost Jack over there, but hopefully I'll be able to, cast this round off. But yeah, talking about the first round itself, the site being on second floor hookah will be I wouldn't call it as a difficult challenge though, although talking about D3 Space leaving one of their defenders as of now, putting them in a 4v5, and also Whiskey taking quite a lot of damage, I believe, from Abu Akil's M5 shotgun. Caves with the roam duty will be in towards the security room. Gets spotted from the drone, so he will fall back from the top stairs. So he'll just try to not, contest against the players who are trying to push in towards the office. Although Cheesy Chimkins, exactly what he's doing, so he's going to be able to use his track to find exactly where Mozzie's location is. Talking about Executor, though, he will be back, but the only problem is he'll only be able to give information and information other than that. But talking about the other attackers at the moment here, the drone works giving them vital information. I believe Cheesy Chimkins gave the information on where exactly Akif's location is. Adi Still in towards the sunrise bar. The Bugs doing his thing, using that vertical line of sight to get one kill, but it's going to be kill steal, taking out Whiskey immediately. Shouldn't have any problems dealing with that gunfight because he was already low on HP, but looks like Akif is also going to be on less damage as well. Try to contest against the players in towards the aquarium though. But talking about the way how Throw Syndicate is pushing as of now, they're slowly gaining an inch towards the side. They just have to clear some of the utilities. That would be the Militia's Banshee deterrent and slowly make their way in towards the site. Now they have smokes. They even have good amount of information on where exactly Mozzie's is. That's the second time where Mozzie can get tagged for a total of 4 times. A Claymore. Unfortunately, not being able to see in here. Azadi will get one, Buck gets the other, and also the last one is Throw Syndicate. Won't have any problems dealing with the first defense round of D3 space as they'll be able to win. Second for Hookah as we take a look at it in the instant replay. Round 2 will proceed, and let's see if D3 space has something to answer for, especially talking about the first round itself. They were in a 45 disadvantage, but since Executor is back in the game, he'll be able to try to make some ends and see what they'll be doing as of now. Second round though, the site will be on Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar, not the site of Kitchen. They've decided to confuse the they want to try to confuse Throw Syndicate, saying that they might go for Kitchen side. When that prep phase will come in, they'll get to know what kind of side that they're playing as of now. Although Buck is still viable, though he could use that vertical lines of sight just by getting the control in towards the hookah lounge as well as on the billiards room. But the only problem that he needs to deal about is trying to get that control in towards reception, because that's where most of the defenders is going to be at. You will see that footholds being made in towards the blue. This is exactly what Smoke is doing as of now. He's just going to make some particular lines of sight. So the attackers controlling reception is all it needs for them to go for that plant and also control in towards blue as well. Do that, and Throw Syndicate shouldn't have any problems dealing with D3 Space's line of attack. Line of defense. The only difference is will it be a change factor here? We're to find out in the action phase itself.
That we most certainly will, ladies and gentlemen. I do have to apologize. I had a bit of a disconnection moment. Seems like similar to D3 Space, I have my own issues to sort through today. But, hopefully both myself and D3 Space can get through whatever issues are, plaguing us today, ladies and gentlemen. For the time being, of course, moving into round 2, we're going to be seeing what both of these teams are bringing out for us. So Syndicate, with the Buck in play yet again, vertical lines of sight, definitely going to be something that they want to emphasize on. As ADAT, droning out that kitchen entry. Looks like they really want to go through there, but no, there's going to be somebody else to meet them first, and that is the Jaeger Executor, getting the first one off on to Throw Syndicate. So the message has been sent that this roam game is going to be harder to dethrone than they might think in this situation. That's what they're trying to show. But Killsteal is going to fire one back. That's Akif's gone. And that's your Malusi off the board. Yet again, kills being taken as Executor. Oh, bad peek from the man right there. Gets taken out by the Jackal, who's going to see somebody else inside of the security area. But he's going to go down instead to the Mozzie. Whiskey takes one. Needs to be careful, though. There's a Sophia right on the hallway next to him. There's so many potential gunfights, but no, he's going to lose that one to the Ash. The R4C fires out as ADAT. He's going to take that kill. Very low on HP, mind you, so he's got to be careful on the kind of gunfights he emphasizes on from here. D3 Space, they've still got 2 players remaining. Both of them are on full HP. That could be, that could be the big turning point that they work for, as Heko is trying to, give a bit of a clear to his teammates, that long angle that he needs to try and clear out, that Kakashi is holding. And no, the Kaid will go down instead, decided to peek wide at a moment where he really shouldn't have. And now the Selmers are going to go off, and the plant is about to come down. Killsteal holding wide all the way through courtyard, and it's only going to come down to this Smoke, last man standing. He's gassing everything off, but he can't get the kill. He's going to be spotted by Heko. The kill not quite taken just yet. So much damage done to the Zofia via those gas canisters. ADAT, oh boy. Thought he wanted to go for disconnect. Nope. Disrespect, I should say, actually. And Pistol comes out. He's going to take that kill, and the Smoke will fall. I saw that As we'll see in the instant replay, excuse me, we saw that breaching round come out in his hands, and I meant to say that he might want to go for the disrespect here, but I somehow ended up saying disconnect. I mean, very relevant slip of tongue, if you will, given the circumstances that we have started off today. However, 2-0 is the scoreline. Throws Syndicate doing pretty good, I would say. Their gunfight potential is strong. Their droning has been fairly decent as well. The utility clearance, they're getting rid of what they need to, and in some cases, just a little bit more than that. More than anything, really, they're holding back and trying to figure out how D3 space is playing. D3, on the other hand, is being just a little bit. They're being too prone to swing too wide, I'd say. While everything else is, they're getting outplayed by Throw Syndicate to an extent, but a couple of kills in that last round really came down to the fact that there were some bad peaks being made. For instance, Executor on the main reception desk, right? He knew, or at least had to have an idea, that there would be somebody outside the main door, right? But he instead chose to stand up and peek towards the kitchen area hallway. I'm not sure as to why. Obviously, there was ADAT in that location, the Ash, right? So he probably wanted to be careful of that. But then again, you can do that while still being crouched. Standing up gave away his head to the Jackal, and Cheesy Chimkin was more than happy to relieve him of his situation, of his duty in that round. And, all in all, excuse me for the pause right there. Admin was being our admin, as he does. Throw Syndicate, again, just holding back and doing what they need to do more so than anything else. And D3 Space, if they cut down on the tendency to swing wide, I think they could have a decent chance of winning out this game. It comes down to a few minor adjustments, at least from what we've seen in these first two rounds. As here we have the Ash once again pushing up towards kitchen. Got to be careful of the Melusi in this kitchen hold. A little bit of lurk action happening as the round is about to get, it's about to heat up quite a bit.
Well, talking about heat though, Kiev with the MP5 decides to go aggressive, but he needs to do this as soon as possible because that Ace Selma Breach charge will give away the line of sight and also try to understand what's going around here. Adi using quite a lot of shot as Whiskey's Executor gets one. Melusi tries to run away. Not on the hands of Adi, and Cheesy Chimkins making their play, taking out Executor and Arcave, putting it in a 3v3, make that 3v2, as Cheesy Chimkins gets one more, taking out Whiskey, and with it, the sight on blue bar, Kakashi and a kill. Both of them are in towards the site, and all the attackers needs to do is to just eliminate one of them so that they could go for a post plan. They are so near, and looks like D3 Space might have something to do about it. They have C4 to deny, they have smoke gas canisters to fend off their push. The only thing is that they require a timing. They need timing to just make sure that they'll be able to fend off the attackers' push at the right time. Talking about time though, they are, however, succeeding. 1 minute. They just need to hold at least 1 minute for D3 Space to make sure that they would be able to get this win. Looks like the attackers have made a decision to plant in towards blue. Now they have 2 smoke grenades. Actually, they don't. Looks like the Jackal has a Claymore, whereas the Ace will have the smoke grenade to make sure that they'll be able to block that line of sight. But the smoke gas canisters will be there to also make sure that the plant would not happen. Killsteel will also hold his angle in towards the reception, and the execution will come in from the Jackal. Plant will also do come in. The C4, beautiful toss. Will it connect? No, it does not. Cheesy Chimkin somehow survives, and with it, this might be a post plant. A beautiful headshot from Kakashi through that bullet hole, but it is too late here. Post plant situation, and Cheesy Chimkins gets one more. Triple kill for him, taking out Kakashi. All he needs to do is just eliminate one more kill steal. Here's that the smoke coming in towards the courtroom, but he decides to fall back and give it in the hands of Cheesy Chimkins. 4K for him as Throw Syndicate be able to win round 3 first floor blue bar. And with that, we will be able to see Team Throw Syndicate winning 3 rounds of defense as we proceed to round 4, where D3 Space's choice of site will be on blue bar and sunrise bar again. Not sure that this would be a good idea, knowing that they've had a lot of problems dealing with the attackers push in towards service entrance and also in towards the office. So their main concern is to make sure that they'll be able to, provide some distractions by doing some runouts or maybe just doing some spawn peaks to make sure that it happens. Bringing Alibi would be a viable choice because our holograms would be actually be able to work it out, because all she has to do is just throw her holograms right outside, and the attackers might think that the defenders might go in for a run out. That is basically a safe way to make a distraction. But for now, unfortunately, we won't be able to see an Alibi being picked, but instead we will see a Kaid being brought out on map coast. I'm not quite sure what their motives are. Maybe just to make sure that they'll be able to electrify the hatches in towards sunrise, and maybe placing that electroclaws in towards the kitchen might be a good idea too, because most of the time Melusi was in towards kitchen, decides to rotate, not on the back of kitchen, but in towards the bathroom side where Ash was literally holding an angle. Not quite sure what was happening between these two comms, but for now, let's see what's going to happen as we proceed to the action phase. Round 4. Space, the final frontier. Will they be able to win their first round of defense in round 4? Let's find out in this action phase itself. As Abu Akil will be able to place his last Selma, his last Banshee deterrent in towards the kitchen, whereas the attackers will continue doing their drone works to give them the information. This time we'll see Akif and Executor in towards security room to provide some cover and also make sure that they'll be able to get that good amount of man cover, but they forget about the push in towards blue. As Echo gets 2 kills right off the bat, taking out Whiskey and Kakashi. Oh boy, not looking too good here, because Throw Syndicate understood T3 Space's motives and they've decided to push in head on towards on blue. Looks like Akif will be able to find one. That's going to be Adi taken care of, but Cheesy Simpkins will be able to take out Adia, and a nice shot will be able to put it in the all chat itself. But talking about D3 Space though, not looking too well here. Only 2 players left on the side of the defenders, the Melusi and the Jaeger. I think Jaeger was still in towards the kitchen. Actually, both of them are in towards that kitchen hallway. Looks like they don't have anything else to counter this post plant. Neither any utilities nor kills, in which Executor might be able to get one, but they don't see that line of sight being made in towards Hookah, and with it, the last player will be none other than Abu Akil, who is pushing in towards kitchen, but unfortunately can't be able to do anything at all. Throw Syndicate very strong on attack, winning round 4 on first floor blue bar yet again. And that's what I like to call a jackpot on the side of Team Throw Syndicate.
I mean, a 7-0 would be more akin to a jackpot, but they are certainly on their way, I should say. Yes, Baba?
I mean, the reason why I said jackpot is because they won first floor blue bar 3 times.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, if it was 7-0, it would have been much more of a better jackpot. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was gonna say, right? They've taken 4 attacking rounds. That is for sure. It's definitely on the way to a good jackpot, right? The stars are aligning, if you will. But they aren't quite there yet. Throw Syndicate, however, has been very strong today, ladies and gentlemen. That is definitely a good showing from them. D3 Space, in the meanwhile, not sure what's going on with them. They gave us a good showing when it came to their qualifiers matches all the way to the end. And here they are, 3 back-to-back rounds on first floor blue and sunrise bar. Every single one of them was always a 3-men left standing type scenario for Throw Syndicate, where they kept winning the round, right? The early the early round trades are definitely there. D3 Space, they can pull off a couple of kills when they need to, but for whatever reason, their late rounds are really shaky. They're really undefined, if you will. Once Throw Syndicate establishes themselves within the map, they start taking control of those valuable sectors away from D3 Space. It doesn't really seem like they, are they know how to counter it, or even if they do, they can't execute it very well. They keep getting taken down, or they swing too wide and get taken down, and there's just a whole plethora of mistakes happening from there. Not exactly the D3 Space, who were a couple of seasons ago known as D3 Team Sky, if I recall correctly. Not exactly the kind of team we saw back then. But even then, even that team, D3 Team Sky, which was a slightly different roster, I do have to say, also got eliminated from Division 3. So who knows? Maybe this time around it's just the first match. They've come around from the qualifiers. It's been quite the grind for them for an entire week. So maybe this first match they've decided to take it easy and whatnot, and we'll see more from them as the season progresses, improvements and changes as and when required. That will certainly be a thing if they want to leave season 5 on a good note. Hecko, in the meanwhile, what is this angle? He's gonna find Whiskey straight from Penthouse. He might find a second one. Almost had Executor done, and that's from the triple wall inside the Penthouse. What is that angle? And there goes Executor. In the meanwhile, you have the summer breaches coming in, and Killsteel is not afraid to peek those angles long. It doesn't matter. He will try and take them, and he did. Executor down. That's your GSG9 brothers off the board for the side of D3 Space, who are now in a veritable heap of trouble as the push from Throw Syndicate seems to be changing directions. The main diffuser carrier, that's Cheesy Chimkins, along with the Buck and the IQ, coming in towards the they're coming in towards Aquarium. Interesting decision. This is the direction that D3 Space was originally looking at. We saw the defensive setup. It was facing Aquarium to begin with. So I'm not sure if this is the right call right now. Zabuaka is going to get one. That is a Buck taken care of. Now to 4 versus 3. The Mozzie has taken one, but can he take a couple of more, or will it be the Maestro from afar of Keys has come in? He's going to find Hecko as well as Zabuaka, gets taken down. Ali, one kill. That's a confirmation. Actually, Kakashi fires onto Cheesy Chimkin in the meanwhile, and it's going to look a little bit worse as the Ace can't quite find the smoke right there. And in the meanwhile, Adi stuck with the diffuser inside of Aquarium. Selma goes out, but will that really do much? It won't. Smoke will deny it as a massive pre-fire comes in. 20 seconds on the clock, and looks like a line of sight will finally be made. Killsteel needed to do this a little while ago. Might have been able to get the Maestro before Cheesy Chimkins went down. But of course, that's merely a what-if scenario. Adi's going for the plant already. This is big. If the plant goes off, this could be huge. That's a kill confirmed. Killsteel takes it. Can he get the other one? Not quite yet, but the Maestro, he will not persevere. Adi makes sure of that. G8 wins it out in the end, even when Throw Syndicate were read into. Even when their push was seen and reacted to, as we will see in the instant replay by D3 Space, they could not lose, as in Throw Syndicate could not lose. It came down to Killsteel and, of course, Adi, whom I mistakenly called ADAT in the beginning of the stream, I have to say. But, sometimes spelling mispronunciation. Blame it on the accent. Yeah, that's right. Blame it on the accent. That's what I like to say in these situations. First floor kitchen and service entrance will be the site of choice as round 6 is underway. The last round before roll swap, 5-0 in favor of Throw Syndicate.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as
5-0 is the score line here, favoring the side of Team Throw Syndicate. Looks like D3 Space have nothing to offer for here for the defense. Maybe you might be able to see some some great miracle happening in towards on attack. Who knows? Maybe they might be able to bring in a rushed Chimera strat, just like how we did get to see from Demon's Force. Although it's just a huge question mark to see whether if it works out or not. But for now, talking about the defense though, D3 Space still with the same operators. You see Akif with the Mozzie, you have Executor with the Bandit. I believe he'll be able to place his Bandit charges either in towards the kitchen wall or maybe in towards the service entrance. That's basically my main bet. Yeah, there you go. They'll be able to make sure that the Ace wouldn't use his Selma Breach charges to make that line of sight. So that's one of the counters taken care of. It's just that they need to worry about that vertical lines of sight, and the defenders, especially the roamers, needs to make sure that they would waste their time as much as possible. Now, talking about the defenders here, the only two players who is going to be doing it would be Akif, but unfortunately Adi decides to use the G8 LMG just to say hello and goodbye both at the same time. Now with that, Akif is going to go down, bringing a 5v4, and also D3 Space is in trouble yet again, as the attackers slowly gaining their momentum, but still might be able to figure out a way here. Whiskey with the kill, taking out Hecko in towards Cool Vibe Stairs, but still needs to be careful of one more. That's going to be the Ace in towards Cool Vibe Stairs as well. The only problem is that they don't have yet another line of sight. Most of the players are still trying to do, make that vertical lines of sight, in which Buck is should be doing as of now. There you go. The skeleton key will be able to make sure that they'll be able to eliminate players right in towards the rotation. That's exactly where the master was playing, and looks like Abu Akil will be able to dealt with some major damage in towards service entrance. Still, he will survive, and he might be able to get a kill as well. Beautiful, recovery there from the smoke to try to down the Buck, but he doesn't have the idea as of now. Now, talking about the HP itself, he'll be able to revive back at least up to a 10 HP. But the only problem is, will we see Buck continuing to do his job? Yes, he does. And will it be the cause of death? No, it does not. He will still survive. He'll be able to make some line of sight. And here we go. SMG-11 will come in to take out Buck Sarcastic, putting in a 3v4. This might be the turnaround that D3 Space requires. And just as I was talking about it, unfortunately, he will lose to at gunfight with the G8 again from Adi with the double kill. Now, talking about Buck, he doesn't have, talking about Buck, taken out, they don't have any more lines of sight, or, making that vertical lines of sight. Either they could have done it from Cheesy Chimkin's secondary shotgun, but now they just have to focus on getting control in towards the site, and looks like they won't be, as Whiskey will be able to take one more, taking out the IQ this time in towards Penthouse, gets the control, and with a kill steal, will be the last man standing. In a 1v3 situation, he knows the one player is in towards Kitchen. He wants to hunt him down first, but nonetheless, with angles being made from D3 Space, fortunately, they won't be able to get one at all. D3 Space, amongst the numerous amount of rounds that they've lost, they will somehow win round 6 first floor kitchen, and whether it will be the end of first half. 5-1 will be the scoreline favoring the side of Team Throw Syndicate. As we proceed to the second half, all Throw Syndicate needs to do is get 2 more wins to get their win, and also D3 Space, they have to win 4 attack rounds in a row to equalize the round against them. Will it happen? Will it does not? We're able to find out with the site being on second floor hookah and billiards lounge.
That last round was actually fairly interesting. Kitchen and Service Entrance is definitely a site that some would say defenders are, in some situations, required to be just a little bit more aggressive, or at least they can be if they want to, especially when challenging those vertical lines of sight. We saw the smoke do exactly that, and he actually managed to pull off a kill, albeit he did get traded in by Cheesy Chicken not too long after. But even then, that was precious time wasted, and more importantly, with Buck taken care of, that was your soft breach, your vertical lines of sight, all gone. Nothing that Throw Syndicate could do, outside of course having Cheesy Chimkins, who was playing the Jackal, bring in his secondary shotgun, could have given them more lines of sight. But again, time was the issue there. Too much time was taken on second floor to clear it out and get themselves in there while losing a couple of bodies, and they never really recovered from that situation. Throw Syndicate, unfortunately, not quite showing up to the best of their ability in the previous round, but all in all, the first half definitely went their way in its entirety. Out of the first 6 rounds, 5-1, and now you're going into defense on Coastline. While that's going to be a tough fight, defense on Coastline to begin with, given that they have such a huge advantage, they're not going to mind losing a couple of rounds here. What they need to, however, make sure of is that they don't lose too many. Because if they lose, say 5 rounds back to back, I mean, it's a huge ask of D3 Space, right? But in the scenario that they do lose 5 rounds in a row, D3 Space will not only have made a comeback, they will be going all the way to match point. Not something you want, as Whiskey's going to take the first kill in the meanwhile. Buck Sarcastic's off the board. That is huge right there. Whiskey himself popping into office, nearly getting Cheesy Chimkin. Not quite. Cheesy Chimkin nearly getting him, I should say, but not quite as well. Kill not confirmed, but this one will be. Almost had the headshot, but nope. It was the smoke. Kill steal to take one. Cheesy Chimkin finds another. That's Akif's gone. And now, at the minute 50 mark, you have the advantage being taken by the side of Throw Syndicate. Echo, drone spotting his location towards the Cool Vibe stairs. Not that it will matter too much, of course. You have the Mozzie with his own drone. Adi has caught one. That's going to be nice for intel for the side of the defense. Throw Syndicate turning things around like they always do, or at least have in this match so far. As Executor wants to kill on first floor. I don't think he knows that the Mozzie is actually down there inside of Sunrise from the looks of it. That's going to make things a little bit more curious as a kill will be taken and another in retaliation. And that is Executor finding Cheesy Chimkins. One more down. And in the meanwhile, Abu Akil was the one to go down, interestingly enough, from a C4 I did see. Now with Kakashi and Executor, the last two standing against three of Throw Syndicate, it's a very similar situation, albeit inversed in their roles that they're playing right now. As in Throw Syndicate with three people in the lead, D3 Space very likely to make this round their own with only two operatives remaining. Can they do it? They only have 40 seconds to find out.
Well, 40 seconds. That's basically the number of seconds remain here for the attackers to make their play. Talking about it, though, Executor is still holding that, looking at that vertical lines of sight, though. Although talking about, through syndicates, utilities, they only have three smoke, there you go, smoke gas canisters to fend off the push. One which is in towards on laundry, and with it, the Pete and Roni will be able to take out Kakashi. That was a very quick, clean, precise kill coming in from Team Pro Syndicate. Not having a proper location on where exactly smoke was in towards Aquarium, they'll be able to win that round. And with that round 8, we will proceed. Whereas we will see Throw Syndicate on match point. The side they're going to pick will be on first floor kitchen and service entrance. Not looking too good here on the side of Team D3 Space, although we did get to witness 2 or 3 kills coming in from Executor from that line, vertical lines of sight being made right in towards the aquarium. And also a very good way of placing a bandit charge in towards the hatch to make sure that the ace would not use his Selma breach charges right from below. That was a very, or adaptive and also very 100 IQ plays, as I would like to talk about it, because most of the time, especially on a map like Coastline, you wouldn't see a hard breacher being used every single time, and you see Throw Syndicate using it in the first half of attack, especially when the site was on second floor hookah and billiards room. We don't see them pushing in directly from hookah balcony. We see them pushing in towards VIP, make that line of sight, and also that exact same line of sight where Zofia used a melee hold to get one kill in towards that angle. A very amazing kill and also an impressive kill coming in from Throw Syndicate. But also talking about D3 Space, though, they were quite aggressive and they were a bit over peaking in most of the defensive rounds. And talking about the attack, I wouldn't say that they were being as aggressive as ever. They were just trying to get some early picks and then try to focus on getting control in towards the site. Unfortunately, they could not. And with that, Throw Syndicate being on a very huge lead here, and D3 Space, they have a lot of work to complete it. For now, talking about the action phase itself, Akif will head in towards the roof, try to get the information of the footprint scanner. Hopefully he'll be able to get one, or maybe he'll just be able to drone out for his team in towards Penthouse and Theater to make sure that there isn't any roam plays. Talking about roam plays, we will be seeing Adi bringing in the Mozzie again, which would alert the attackers to eliminate the threat first. Nadi will fall back in towards the Cool Vibe stairs and make sure that he'll be able to make a last stand in towards Sunrise Bar itself. Now, talking about the attackers, though, they have control of that vertical lines of sight and also some major information into where exactly smoke is. They'll be able to get one, though, from in the hands of Kakashi, taking out Kill Steam. That would give them the control in towards service entrance. But through Syndicate, we'll be able to get back the control of that service entrance without having any problems to deal with it. Although they have to worry about that vertical line of sight in which the attacker is still looking at it, whereas Heko will be able to take one out, taking out Kakashi with that same line of sight being used in towards the penthouse itself. Now, since the man count is equalized, the only difference that we see right now is that they took out smoke. a very important operator which has a total of 3 smoke gas canisters to fend off their pushes, and looks like Adi will be able to get one more in towards the hallways of VIP, taking out Executor this time. And also a good information will come in. The pre-fires, will it work out? No, it does. He has to reload the weapon, but unfortunately cannot contest against two angry players on the side of D3 Space. This might be a chance here for Space to make sure that they'll be able to win this round. But talking about the HPs though, Sledge 2 HP, and so does Akif with a similar HP to exactly what Sledge has. Talking about the time itself, they don't have much. 40 seconds for them to make their move. The diffuse has been dropped in towards second floor penthouse. Let's see what's going to happen here at this final 30 seconds.
Not a whole lot of time and not a whole lot of health remaining as the bandit's location is being given away, but Buck Sarcastic is all the way out towards Sunrise Bar, of course. So he won't be challenged primarily because Throw Syndicate will be anticipating the push into towards side, but Whiskey's gonna get Cheesy Chimpkins in the meanwhile. That's a big drop right there. Echo fires back in the meanwhile. 2v2. Abuakel's going for the plant. There is no C4 in play, but it doesn't matter. Buck Sarcastic's gonna come in, take two, and finish it all off. That is right, as we will see in the instant replay. Beautiful double kill as the man himself, despite being tracked in Sunrise, they couldn't, as in the attackers, excuse me, could not go and emphasize and take him out. He came back to bite them quite hard indeed, as he was the one to finish off the round and the match in general, if you will. 7-1 with 11 kills going to Adi, the man playing the Mozzie in the last round, 7, and then everybody packing in 6 kills themselves. Pretty evenly distributed scoreboard when it comes to Throw Syndicate in this match, and I have to say it was a good first showing from them compared to where they were in Division 2. I would say, they weren't quite ready for Div 2 in the last season. Maybe this season, at the end of it, we might be able to say that they are ready for Div 2. It is the final season at the same time. So it's really going to come down to how they, the impression that they leave us with, if you will, at the end of season 5. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are not quite done with the match that we just had. We are going to be going into relive the moment right now to talk about the match that we just had, the best moments and the not so great moments of it. And I believe in this situation, Baba Gusta is best suited to take us through them. Baba, an interesting and rather quick first game, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, Jack. Talking about the first half itself, we see Throw Syndicate absolutely dominating in attack for the for the entire first half itself. Although the first floor kitchen did not bode well, especially on how D3 Space makes their last stand. Even with bringing some of the roamers to try to make that flank. Work out in the mid round, eliminating BIQ, who was holding that vertical lines of sight. Other than that, we just see D3 Space more of like nervous from the beginning itself. They had no idea on how to play against the Ace Selma Breach charges, in which it's been used quite a lot on map Coastline, because most of the time you don't see a Thatcher being banned on Coastline. You just mainly see one of the frag operators like either a Blackbeard or a Nomad, in which that's exactly what Throw Syndicate and D3 banned. Talking about the side push in towards hookah, we didn't see Throw Syndicate pushing for the hookah balcony, but instead decides to push in towards VIP. That did work out well in their favor, and also not quite sure what Space's motives were, trying to pick first floor blue bar, knowing that they've lost twice and they decided to go for it again. Maybe they, did realize that they made some mistakes, but still, losing that 3 rounds on first floor blue bar did cause Team Throw Syndicate the round. Actually, did cause D3 Space to lose the rounds, and also give Throw Syndicate the higher chances of winning it out. All in all, a very good first round they did get to see. Throw Syndicate will be in the top of the leaderboards, currently having a good round conversion, having I believe it is a 6-round conversion rate, and also a total of 3 points to them. I mean, it is a good start for them. But still, we have 2 more matches to go, ladies and gentlemen. And talking about that second match, we have ZFC going up against Team Clickbait. And looks like the map, we'll be able to get the map after we take a quick break. Until then, just get hydrated, go get some popcorn. Until then, we'll just be right back.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 Alright, so let's move on. We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 Alright, so let's move on.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and our broadcast partner Booyah, here with your hosts Blackjack and Baba Gusta, and of course our admin Eisen, as we are here to find ourselves in the second game of Division 3 Day 1. The final season of the Pro League has finally hit its division stages, and it started us off with an interesting first game that we had before between Throw Syndicate and D3 Space that resulted in Throw Syndicate winning it 7-1 in their favor. D3 Space didn't really show up, if you will, for that game, not the way we wanted them to. Second game of the night is Zendaya Fan Club against Team Clickbait. Once again, a match that sees a team coming up from the qualifiers against a team coming down from Div 2. Team Clickbait had a pretty bad Season 4, all in all, when it comes to their Div 2 stint. And they'll be looking to make amends for that in the final season. Going live on experience right now on the map of Clubhouse. Let us join our players in the middle of the ban phase with Clickbait on the defense. excuse me, there, with the first ban of the night being Thatcher once again. No surprises right there. As it's Clubhouse. Thatcher bans are to be expected. ZSA have the second ban of the map, and they will decide to ban the Hibana. So I believe that we can expect now a Kaid ban following up the first two attacker bans from the side of Zendaya fan club. ZFC, it is of course in their court. The ball, excuse me, is in their court. They could choose to leave Kaid in, but I don't think they will. Clickbait, of course, might ban Mira. They might even go for a Wamai ban, all things considered. Wait a minute. ZFC have actually banned Mira and not Kaid. So it looks like the inclusion of the Maverick will allow them to play around the fact that Kaid is going to be in play. Clickbait at the final ban tonight, and they're going to ban the Wamai just as expected. So looks like, excuse me out there, that is going to be your ban phase done. Thatcher, Hibana, Mira, Wamai, no Maverick, and more importantly, no Kaid. So the Mavericks' importance in this match, especially when it comes to pushing, especially when it comes to hard breach, all kinds of hard breach actually, has shot up exponentially. And we're going to see quite a lot of Maverick play coming out from both ZFC and, of course, Clickbait when we move into the rounds. But before we do, let's have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Zendaya fan club, we've got Fragger, Boom, Cypher, Revoc, and Sergi CT. And of course, from the side of Team Clickbait, we've got Teddy and Noxy, Super King, Gunmaker, and Luxia. A couple of 6 picks, one out into the Kaid by Noxy, and one out into the Thermite by Fragger. Basement Church and Arsenal Room being the first side of choice as we will be underway with this rather interesting match that already seems like it's going to rely more on both teams trying to outsmart each other and then going into raw gunplay more than anything else. But that, of course, will be decided as we move on into the match, ladies and gentlemen. As the first round is underway, and I've kept the man for the mic long enough, Balagusta, take it away.
Well, thank you so much for that, Jack. Round 1 will commence with ZFC making their debut in Division 3, and so does Clickbait, who unfortunately gets relegated to Division 3 from Div 2. Quite unfortunate, but still they have a chance to make a possible play here. But to find out in the action phase itself, we see 3 hard breaches coming in from ZFC. No Hibana this time, since she's been banned, and also would put Maverick a higher chances of opening up those any hard breach wall, just like Jack said. But for now, with the attackers getting into their positioning, talking about it, Luxia will be dealt with some major damage here from Sir G. And also Luxia gets detected from the drone, giving them exact location on where he is. Thermite's atomic charge will be used to open up, I believe, the hatch in towards the blue room. Now the Ace will use his hard breach as well, opening up in towards tunnel. The main work for Maverick is to open up the kitchen hatch, knowing that they have the Kaid with his Electro Claws. All he has to do is just remove Luxia out of the equation, and then everything will go dandy. Talking about it though, there is a bit of difficulties here. 2 drones taken out in the hands of Luxia, and with it, the trap will commence with Fragger taking out Luxia and also the access in towards Bar as well. Now, they would require a Maverick as the C4 will come in to deal some major damage to Revoc. Not that much though. A bit of a total of 3 or 4 damage from the C4 itself. Although it's quite amusing that the C4 would deal such minor damage, but still, talking about the early kills here, Luxia taken out in the early round would give ZFC a good chances to, make their main focus in towards the side. Super King sees one, misses the headshot, and also got a lot of damage as well. Will be falling back in towards the oil pit, make his last stand as well. But here comes Steady Oil with the support. Does he see it? Yes, he does. Steady Oil with the first frag as well, taking out Sir G, putting in a 4v4, and with it, the 1 minute mark will commence. His Gunmaker is he's waiting for the attackers to make their play while they're trying to get the access in towards tunnel.
Well, this is quite interesting. Fragger's already gone for the plant inside a deep arsenal. I don't think Clickbait is aware of this. They are not. Noxie's trying to find the thermite, and he will. A much needed kill in that situation, but you can bet that there's vertical lines of sight already on that diffuser. But no, Teddy finds one, gets found as well, as the Kaid will go in for the counter defuse. Cypher and Revoc, they need to get there quickly. Revoc's gonna find Noxie, but can he find the other two? Super King, solo on HP, finds Cypher instead, and that's all done to Revoc. He's been taken down as well. Super King, the Mozzie, 1 HP, quite literally on the man, and he will be the one to secure the round for his team, as we will see in the instant replay. Ooh, Zendaya fan club trying to go for a bit of a quick plant, surprising the side of Team Clickbait and us here in the caster seat. But unfortunately for them, it didn't quite work out, as they got taken down quite quickly as well. Vertical line of sight did not go too well, if you will, and that of course ended up not looking too good for the side of the attack. Although I do have to say, ZFC's early round was pretty good. It was that late round when they started stalling and they tried to, force their way, they're into sight and into the plant. That's when they started falling apart, if you will. Right now, with Clickbait going to second floor CCTV and Cashroom in round 2, is going to make things all the more interesting, as this match, of course, has barely just begun. ZFC could have been just looking to see how Clickbait reacts to, say, sudden pressure, especially in the end of a round, and Clickbait, I would say, reacted pretty well, all things considered. So, that is something that Zendaya fan club now has to put into consideration. Just note that down, that this match is probably not going to be that quickly dealt with, if you will. Although, they're not going to go up against each other for the rest of the season. There are, 6 other teams for both sides to fight after this game. So we've got plenty of matches in store for both teams in the rest of the season, but for this match and for the future in general, you want to have notes on your enemy teams to see exactly what kind of opposition they are for future reference. If you go up against them in any other tournament, any other match, even in practice matches and whatnot, those are always valuable to do and have, as you have those meat jammers in the meanwhile towards the garage wall doing a bit of work, as they do, to deny some hard breach coming in from the side of ZFC. They're going to take out those meat jammers, but that means going through garage, and Teddyoy is already on the bottom floor of garage waiting to meet these attackers, greet them with a friendly bullet to the face, if you will. He might just be able to get one off. Maybe somebody is approaching that garage door. Teddyo's got to be careful, though. That angle can be used against him, but it looks like Boom won't be doing that. A drone has spotted where the Electroclaw has been, right there, where the Electroclaw has been placed, and the grenade will go out. That's hopefully going to deny that, but no, Teddy comes out and he's going to find the thermite. Big drop right there. One of the hard breachers is gone, but more importantly, that's Fragger gone. Nobody watching that run out, and the Melusi makes full use of that. The Sophia down below will meet the clash in the meanwhile, which means Teddy so far will remain uncontested, and now the Maverick either needs to go for his usual soft wall breach trick, or the ace needs to come in. So RGCT will find Super King in the meanwhile. That's a clash taken care of, but he is very much dazed thanks to the Zophia's concussive grenades. Not going to do too much else, though. He's going to open up the soft wall from Lounge, try and find the Melusi. They might just be able to. Teddyo has to be so careful, backed quite literally into a corner. And now Cypher is busy waiting in the wings, can't quite connect. He does on the second peak, and with that, it's a 4v3 advantage to ZFC quite strongly.
Well, talking about that 4v2, the attackers will gain control and also get one more. Cypher with the place, taking out Gunmaker in towards the cash angle. And now they're slowly making their way in towards CCTV, and Sir G will be able to find the last player on the side of Team Clickbait, as ZFC will be able to win yet another round. Actually, one round. In the second round of second floor CCTV, putting them in the score 1-1 as we proceed to round 3. We do see Cypher with his triple kill. He'll be able to get a total of 4 kills at that time. Talking about the site, second floor CCTV, it will be Clickbait's turn to defend that site yet again. No changes in the operators, no smoke, yeah, on the side of clickbait as well. Mainly, you would need a mute to try to block uh, some angles, maybe some angles, or I would say try to make sure that they would not breach in towards construction or CCTV unless and until if there is a problem dealing with. But for now, talking about
Attackers need to
round three
locate and defuse
itself,
as
it
many
is
bombs as
one
they
to
can.
one with Cypher getting their beautiful triple kill as well when they gain that control in towards garage. Now clickbait, all they have to do, like, to be honest though, Teddy I, even with the huge important run out taking out Fragger, wasn't enough for Team Clickbait to contest against the player who were trying to give pressure from that exact same spot Teddy I was. If Teddy I was still alive, and if he was trying to bait the attackers, forcing them to push in from their location, maybe it would have been a different scenario, but still it's just predictions that I'm talking about as of now. But anyway, he did what he could. He did his best to hold that angle, but unfortunately he was compromised and also being looked at both positions, one in which it was at lounge and the other was at the entrance of garage. With the action phase coming in play, we'll see Sergi spawned in towards construction site and also one in towards warehouse, in which Fragger will gladly take out Teddy Oi and deny that aggression, in which Teddy Oi did eliminate Fragger in the previous round. Now that's what I call revenge. Revenge? Yeah. I was about to, say
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
entire
say,
word.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask, like, are you gonna follow that up with something, or apparently not? But yeah, revenge,
Revenge. Just that.
indeed.
Yep.
That's all, folks. As round three will be underway in the action phase. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. These kinds of odd interactions are very common when it's myself and Baba casting, and I definitely live for them in this situation. But will Clickbait be leaving for those grenades? They most likely will, as that grenade didn't quite go through, but Super King's bullets will. That's going to be Revok off the board, and that's a big one indeed. Zofia off the table. Not a good look for the attackers, and not a good thing for the attackers either, as Cypher is going to have to go through and try and get the soft wall breach trick done, primarily because it seems like none of his grenades have gone through to the actual wall that they're trying to breach. And oh boy, Super King, hello. That's a great shot, as some would say. On to the Ash. Sergi CT goes down. The bullet traces, all that Super King needs. That has to be one of the best shots that man has hit in his stint here at the Esports Club. At least that's what it seems like to me. In the meanwhile, interesting breach decision right there from the Thermite, but no, he's going to be Gunmaker up close and personal with the shotgun in hand, and the 590 rings out and signals the fact that the diffuser has been dropped in the hands of the Mute. Noxy will come in for cover, as ZFC have unfortunately not had too much of a good time. Sounds coming off from the roof, but that peak is very ill-advised. He had the high ground, and, unfortunately for Noxy, Boom did not underestimate his power. Cypher finds Luxia in the meanwhile. That's another kill taken, and now suddenly it's a 2v2. Without the diffuser, however, things are going to be very difficult for these last remaining players, Boom and Cypher, as the Mute Gunmaker is still holding the diffuser hostage, quite literally, with a shotgun to its face. Boom's got to be so careful. Takes a ton of damage trying to go in towards CCTV. He's able to. Cypher goes out, but Gunmaker's not going to find any kills off with that. Cypher's watching that window for any quick rotates, but Boom's going to go down. He was too low on health to make that play, and now it's all down to Cypher 1v2 against a Mute and a Mozzie. Both of them are very much actively searching for him, and Super King will be the one to finish him off. Cypher goes down, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Clickbait taking another round for themselves. Round three, that is, on second floor CCTV. And yeah, I think we can trace back the issues of that round to that failed breach on the main CC wall. The grenades did not go through from Cypher, and that unfortunately did not allow him to take care of the electro claws of the Kaid, which means that Fragger or, the Ace Boom couldn't get their breaches done, which means no entry. And that unfortunately forced them to try something different. For instance, we saw the Thermite excuse me, their fragger, try to go in through construction, right? He did a whole hard breach thing there. Unfortunately, he was met with a 590 by Gunmaker, and well, we all saw the rest of it. All in all, I'd say Zendaya fan club in that round, not exactly looking too good. They were definitely very rattled and they couldn't quite shake it off.
Attackers need
And
to
now, of
locate
course,
and
they have
defuse
lost the
bomb.
lead, and looks like Luxia has disconnected. Seems like he was the one holding up the load in into the round, and looks like we may or may not have a rehost call coming in from Teddyoy in second now. No, actually. No Rios call has been made. I think they're waiting to see if he can reconnect. Nope, there we go. Rios has been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Little unfortunate, but the rehost from the side of Team Clickbait will be confirmed, and that is, a little bit of a sad thing. You never want the action to pause, if you will.
10 seconds left.
But a disconnect is a disconnect, and we want both teams to be playing at full capacity. That's why the rehosts are a thing to begin with, and that's why it will be, it will be the Rios going on for the time being. We do apologize once again for the difficulties being faced, but like I said, it is what it is. Disconnections are very much a part and parcel of Division 3 when it comes down to it. But I have to say, these first three rounds have been quite interesting and quite telling about both teams. Neither of them are really being overly aggressive. They're really trying to read each other, something that we were talked about in the ban phase, right? The Maverick was included because he can counter Kaid, as in quite literally bypass Kaid's Electroclaws, and that's as good of a reason as any to not actually ban Kaid in this situation. And that's what we got to see, right? So it's more of like both teams are playing against each other in not only their gunplay, but also what strategies and what ideas and decisions they are bringing in. And we will definitely be keeping an eye on more of those as we move forward in these rounds, whenever the rounds, of course, come back live. But, that's enough of me talking about what we've seen in this match so far. I have to ask Baba, very interesting first three rounds, wouldn't you agree?
I mean, yeah, Jack. Although the push from the second floor CCTV from ZFC, especially when the thermite tried to use that exothermic charge to get the access into his construction, and without droning it out, he got caught with the mute's shotgun. That held out a lot of problems for ZFC. They shifted their focus into trying to get that diffuser back into its construction, and unfortunately, they could not. Looks like that MVP of the round should be none other than Mute himself, making sure that he would get that kill and also made sure that the plant would not happen. And also talking about Clickbait, though, they're still not out of the game just yet. We will see them win both of the sites, Basement Church and second floor CCTV. Now we will see Basement Church yet again. This time, especially knowing that they will bring out the Kaid. So maybe he would either play in towards the church or at the Arsenal room. That's exactly where the hatches will be electroclawed as of now. Maybe he might place it at basement church. Maybe he'll try to place it near the modo hatch, in which it is most commonly used spots of electroclaws. But other than that, especially at the ban phase itself, you do see Thatcher and Hibana being bad. Both of them, in which the hard breaches are very important, especially with the rework that we get to witness from Hibana. Having the ability to change how many pellets you want into opening up the hatches is considered to be as the queen of hatches, Hibana. So with her taken care of, it will rely upon the Maverick to open up those hatches, in which it might take quite a lot of time, though, knowing on how much unless and until if you're quick, clean, and precise, by using those breaching torches, which would take almost around 10 to 20 seconds. Most of the Maverick mains would do it almost around like a 4 to 5 seconds to open it out, but they need to be fast, they need to be consistent, and they need to make sure that they wouldn't get caught in his own line, in his own line of sight. So, no, not quite exactly sure what happened to my tongue back then. Maybe I had a tongue twister. But yeah, talking about yet another mistake that ZFC is doing as of now, the breaching torches from CCTV, where we only do see him make one line of sight, but he doesn't make a circle in the middle so that he could use his frag grenade and throw it at the right exact spot to throw it out. We don't see him do that. We just only see him make one particular line, and then he uses a frag grenade, thinking that it might go inside CCTV. That was the most main mistake that you would do as a Maverick main to do it, especially if you want to do a straight line. Just complete the soft wall try. I mean, just convert the hard wall into a soft wall. Try not to use the nade while using that hole. And to be honest, even if you do make it, there is less likely a chance where you can use that grenade to make sure that you'll be able to take out those hard, the denials from the defender gadgets, which would include the electroclaws or the the mute jammers. Not quite sure why I said mute. Bandit charges. I'm just trying to get confused most of the time, but technically that was the only mistake that I was a bit worried about here from ZFC. Other than that, their pushes, especially from Cypher, is absolutely amazing, man. Triple kill and towards I believe that was on round 2 where did get to witness Cypher getting himself a triple kill. One eliminating Teddy Oi, who was cornered, and then second eliminating even the angle being made right in towards Cash, which did give them the entire access of CCTV. Although it did not happen on round 3, where all clickbait had to do is just to bait them in, try to make sure that they would come in for the diffuser rather than going for the kills, and just abandon all sites and just try to get that diffuser first. That was their main mistake, and that was their main problem, that they had to recover it. Unfortunately, they did not. And also, talking about round 4, Basement Church will be the site for them yet again. The only question that I'm worried about is whether ZFC figured out a way to eliminate it, since we did get to see them going for an early plant without having a good amount of cover. Although there was player holding in towards kitchen, he didn't had that perfect line of sight, and all Mozi had to do was try to challenge that vertical line of sight and then win that gunfight. That's all going to be talking about it for now, because we do see the teams are back in the game. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we will head on to round 4, where the site of Team Clickbait might be on Basement Church or on Second Floor Gym. It's been a long time. I mean, it's been a long rounds where we haven't seen Second Floor Gym and Bedroom being picked. Maybe we might be able to see it being picked in the next round. But for now, the teams are back. Even with the ready confirmations coming in, we will head back into the match, with the side being on Basement Church and Arsenal Rome. And looks like Team Clickbait will try to bring in some of the roamers instead here, bringing out the Vigil and also the Mozi to make sure that he'll be able to get that good amount of support. And also, how can I not forget about the Valkyrie, in which Noxy being able to brought out. Having those vital information will be good. Will be a good answer to their questions. Although one of those camps will be in towards kitchen, whereas the attackers shouldn't have any
Defenders,
problems
protect your bombs
finding
from
that
being
specific
defused by
cams.
attackers.
They just have to place their drones in towards kitchen and make sure they would get that perfect location to take out those important information. But for now, as we proceed to round 4, the site will be on Basement Church. Let's see what Clickbait has to offer.
All in all, I'd say that Team Clickbait taking this early lead in the match itself, within the first 3 rounds, that is definitely good for them. It definitely sets up a rhythm, if you will, a tone that they want to emphasize more on. Although ZFC have made some questionable decisions before, for instance, in round 1, where they, decided to have the Thermite go for the plant in deep Arsenal, while
Attackers are moving out
everybody
to
else
locate a
was
bomb
either
and
on
defuse
second
it.
floor or first floor towards bar. There was practically no cover for Fragger in that round, and he still managed to get the plant off, albeit to his and his team's ultimate detriment. Now, quick little pause right here, I would say. Not pause and pause at the stream, but pause from the commentary, as we kind of forgot to do this earlier, both myself and Baba. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is actually our co-caster Foxy. His birthday. The man himself has his date of birth today. So, Foxy, if you're watching right now, which I sure hope you are, happy birthday to the man himself, Luxia. That's I guess that's his gift. A beautiful kill onto Sergi CT is gonna be the thing that Luxia gets first off. Sergi goes down. Unfortunately, the ashes off the board, and the Vigil will make an escape on to second floor nice and quickly. And yeah, just doing what a vigil does, roaming around, wasting time for the attackers. And that first kill will definitely be a lot of time and a lot of utility taken away from the attackers' side. With the Ash off the board, you now have to, the attackers, that is ZFC, now have to contend with two different areas of the map entirely. One, where the roamers are, wherever they be, the Mozzie and the Vigil in this situation, one out towards the bar door, and the other, the Mozzie, still on second floor from the looks of it. Yep, Super King is still up there waiting for his turn when it comes to emphasizing on first floor. Other than that, of course, you have other things. For instance, emphasis from down below, from within side itself, as Fragger seems to have taken, oh boy, that's a lot of damage right there. But most importantly, his excuse me, his exothermic charge was not tricked from the looks of it. So the kitchen house might just have been breached. We'll get to see in a second, as it can sometimes be a little bit questionable, but no, Reva will take down Noxie. In the meanwhile, a retaliation, and a much needed one. That's your Valkyrie gone, but Luxia's back at it again. He wants to take a kill or two, and with 50 seconds on the clock, this could just be a huge play.
A huge play for the side of Clickbait if they do figure out a way here. But talking about that push, though, two of the players in towards tunnel, but Luxia will be able to take out Fragger this time and try to gain control in towards kitchen. Now, two of the players will try to get that control back in towards kitchen, as Luxia will be able to find one. A good patience and also good kill. Yeah, triple kill for Luxia. And with the Super King is here for the support, the diffuser drop will be given. The information they will have, and here Vigil went too aggressive to try to take out the ace, but unfortunately he could not. Here comes Super King to eliminate one. Bone gets the other, gets a double kill, but in the end it's going to be Teddy Oi right in towards the Yasuo room, waiting for him to go for that drop, and with it the win goes to the side of Team Clickbait. With it, round 4 Basement Church goes to the favor of Team Clickbait. As the replay comes to an end, we will proceed to run 5. And talking about Fragger, though, I mean, how lucky is that guy, man? I mean, how many rounds did Fragger survive the C4? Not once, not twice, 3 times. Both of them in which it was in this match. And then the previous one, which was at the qualifiers match, where he was trying to plant in towards CCTV. Somehow, Fragger survives. I mean, how lucky is this guy?
Well, I'd say that getting lucky against C4s is definitely something that he might want to look into. Maybe change his name out from Fragger into the man with the luck. There was something else that came to my mind initially, but I can't really quite say that because it doesn't really sound too nice. So I'd rather avoid that for the time being. But don't worry, Baba. I'll let you in on what went through my head post match when we were off stream. I don't want that against me in this situation. But anyhow, round 5 will be underway on the second floor gym bedroom, nice and quickly from Clickbait, who are looking strong once again. In Division 3 for Season 3, harkening back a couple of months ago, Clickbait was pretty strong. They were actually table toppers at the end of Season 3. And Season 4, they came to Div 2. Everybody, including myself, thought that they would be very much ready for this next season, this next division, but unfortunately they turned out not to be. Cypher in the meanwhile is going to find Luxia. Looks like the Jaeger went in for yet another spawn peek. That's what, twice now in these first 5 rounds that Luxia has been caught spawn peeking. And that, unfortunately, has not been good for the man. 2 out of 5, not exactly the worst stat in the world. He's definitely survived more in these spawn peak situations that he goes for every often, but he still gets taken out, so you might want to reconsider going from that same garage door, as that's the area that he got taken out from again, and the one that we saw him get taken out from before. Now the flashbangs will come in, burn out the ADS. That's going to allow for some grenade play to come through, to take care of the Electroclaw, not the Electroclaw, the Bandit batteries that are here from Gunmaker himself. A quick breach on the jacuzzi wall, but of course we all know that second floor gym bedroom is so much more than just the breach on the jacuzzi. Noxie, for instance, playing with a super shorty on that bathroom wall, he could be taken out very quickly should that bathroom wall get breached by a Selma or two. But He could also take a couple people out with that super shorty or with the UMP, depending on the gunfight that he needs to take. And we all know that he's not going to be afraid of taking gunfights. Revok, in the meanwhile, is going to find one that's Gunmaker himself off the board. The bandit, whose batteries were denied just a minute ago, he himself will now be denied influence in this round. Now, moving into this 5 versus 3 situation, looks like Zendaya Fan Club finally have themselves a round where they've taken advantage and are holding on to it. But again, you have to be so very careful when it comes to these situations. Holding on to an advantage like this will not be easy. At least Clickbait will try to make sure of that. Noxie's got to be so careful. That rotate. Had anybody been there on that window of Jim, they would have taken him out. Super King coming on from down below. C4 play potentially, but he's got to be careful of Revok. The Zofia, who's looking up the hatch, trying to find the source of these UMP sounds, but Super King doesn't know, but he will turn around and get the kill. Heard him running, and that's a 3v2 because Teddyoy has found Boom, who found Noxie. So now the situation is a lot more manageable for the side of Team Clickbait. 2v3. It could definitely happen with 20 seconds on the clock. They just need to hold back and find the diffuser player that is Cypher, who's inside a bathroom. He cannot plant in the bathroom, so he has to get out of there. And Search CT will find Super Game. In the meanwhile, Teddy, a big run through. Oh boy, that would have been huge, but he's found the planter instead. Can he find one more? He just needs to live, but no! He did not need to run away in that situation. Teddyoy. Oh no, he could have stuck it out behind that plank, behind that overturned mattress. That could have been it. But it wasn't, unfortunately. And ZFC will take the round. Oh boy, that would have been a huge play. Potentially even play of the week category type. But it will not be because he was denied right at the end. Second plus CCTV and Cashroom will now be the side of choice as ZFC are one round away from equalizing, going into round 6, the last round before roll swap.
Well, round 6 and almost a round where Clickbait almost had that opportunity though. But unfortunately, they could not meet that recovery. Well attempt from Teddyoy as he was almost got his way. If Ash did go down, it would have been a round there for Team Clickbait. Unfortunately, ZFC did figure out a way, and with it, they'll be able to win second floor gym. Although second floor CCTV might give a chance for Team Clickbait to put it 4-2, but it's also a chance for ZFC to equalize it in the first half, so that in the second half it shouldn't have much more of difficulties for them dealing with this map. For now, with the 20 seconds coming to an end, if we just take a look at the operators here, Sir G bring in the Nook this time. And talking about the number of information gain that the defenders have, they don't have any. I mean, except the default cams being placed right outside inside the building, we don't see any intel operators being brought up here on the side of defense. No Valkyrie being brought up, no Maestro, and even a bulletproof cam being brought up on the side of defenders, which would rely Clickbait only on gunfights and also basically baiting the attackers to go for a plant so that they'll be able to eliminate it as soon as possible. You even have the Kaid to waste a lot of time to try to open up the CCTV wall as well. They'll be able to find out exactly where the Kaid's electroclaw is via the drone in which the thermite did locate it. All Cypher has to do is to just make a bit of a circle, not an entire line, and try to make sure that he'll be able to use the nade at the right moment to take out the electroclaw. That's basically what my main concern is. Or if you want to try to make it easier, just try to head in towards the CCTV window, cause a bit of a distraction, and then try to take out at the right moment. The only problem that I'm kind of worried about is Sir G. Maybe he's trying to, go for a lurk, currently in towards kitchen to give some valuable information. And looks like he'll be able to, detect where exactly Super King's location is. Although the scan is what Sir G is afraid of, saying that there might be Vigil nearby. Looks like they've been having a lot of problems dealing with it. Revok, one of the impacts will deal to himself, and the other will make that line of sight to hopefully take out the Electroclaw. And that it is a very long range. The Ace Salman's breach charge will use to open up the garage wall and also make an angle in towards CCTV window. But still, talking about time here, clickbait is winning it. But all they have to do is make sure that they do not get killed in the process. Because if they do, if ZFC has that man control advantage here, it's not going to go well here. Noxy with the bait, will it work out? No, it does not. Even with the Kaid placement, it won't work out. But Super King will be able to take out Cypher and Reebok, both at the same time in towards stock with the help of the impact nades. You'll be able to make a use of that rotate and come back. But here comes Sir G creeping in towards construction, try to hopefully get 1 or 2 frags here. But Fragger on the other hand gets one more, putting ZFC in a very tough spot here. 3-4. What will it happen? Let's find out.
Well, we all know one of the things that already have happened. That's CT taking down Gunmaker, and that was a big trip by the Mute. Albeit the Nook came in handy for that situation, but no, Super King's gonna find the planter. What are you doing, Fragger? That is not the place you need to plant, especially with the visual actively making that much noise in that situation. Super King with the quad, he can find the ace right now, and all that stands between him and that is Surgy CT. Shots are fired, but no, he can't quite get it, but it won't matter. The Nook is cleaned up on by Teddyoy from inside of Garage. That could have been it. But unfortunately, he un-ADS'd and looked away. I think there was a thing to like chase after the Nook. I think maybe, just maybe, you know, the visual thought that he had to chase after the Nook who was trying to go away. But that wasn't the case. Surgy CD took the kill, but of course got taken out soon after. As we will see in the instant replay, potential ace will be denied, but that doesn't matter. My main question is, Fragger, my man, why? I mean, why? Why would you plant there? There's a visual very actively making a ton of noise right next to you, right? There was nothing stopping him from, well, maybe other than the Banshee itself. There wasn't much stopping him from going out trying to find the visual, right? Because he could have done that. There could have been just a little bit more awareness from the side, of the... from the side of the Zendaya fan club, but unfortunately it wasn't to be, and they got taken out. Now that it's a 4-2, Team Clickbait have a fairly good lead going into attack. But the thing is, they're going on to attack on Clubhouse, so things will be made a little bit tougher for them. ZFC now have the Clubhouse defender advantage. The real question is, can they take advantage? Like, can they make use of that advantage? We're about to find out now that we are in round 7 post-roll swap.
Round 7, this time ZFC will be the one on defense, and they'll be able to bring in 2 of the intel operators here. A Pulse with the cardiac sensor and the Echo with those yokai drones. Reebok will technically hold in towards the arsenal room with the help of his cardiac sensors to relay information, and maybe we might be able to see a C4 play either from Cypher, unless and until Cypher has an impact. If she even has a C4, she'll be able to go through it, try to eliminate it as soon as possible. But for now, Cypher is in towards kitchen hallway. Looks like the entire attackers here, especially Luxia, it's already in towards the kitchen, holding an angle. Try to take out Melusi if she decides to go very aggressive from that exact hallway. But for now, she's just going to fall back and hold an angle in towards the main entrance as of now. C4, not a good idea to be placing that C4, and not a good way to do it at that exact moment, because you're going to be wasting quite a lot of utilities. And also the impact trick failing on the side of Born. They still have those yokai drone to give them information. With it, they will fall back in towards K9 position, and so does Reebok, who will reposition himself in towards basement church. They will succeed opening up the wall in towards tunnel as well. The push, especially from Teddyoy, will be able to get some vital information here. The breaching charges will be able to destroy the Banshee deterrent. For how long? Knowing that Super King making his way in towards the main entrance too, main stairs, with the information being relayed from his teammates, they have much reliable information to go on. Talking about the vertical lines of sight, it would try to spook the defenders away, force them to do an aggressive play, and that aggressive play will work out well on the side of Cypher, though, taking out Super King. But unfortunate with the smoke gas canisters not being able to work out, and with its reward, it's going to be a shock drone, freezing Fragger to 1 HP. Luxia gets one, gets two in towards that specific spot. Puts it in a 3v3, whereas Fragger will be able to go for that refrag. Puts it in a very tough spot here. Fragger still in towards tunnel, trying to contest against the attacker in towards tunnel. Looks like they are willing to help out here. 50 seconds left to make their play again. The peak from the MP5 Melusi will be able to destroy quite a lot of location, but Dedio decides to go very aggressive here in towards a specific spot. Fragger will take out Gunmaker as well. Reebok will be able to see it, but still, the F2 will somehow win that gunfight. An instant refrag will come in from Sapphire as well, putting it in a 2v1 situation here, whereas Noxy already in towards the Arsenal room needs to find two more of those players. C4 will come in, gets tossed out in mid-air, will be able to down and get a confirmation, puts it in a 1v1. He has to go for that reload though. Will Cypher be able to hear that reload animation? No, he does not. He has to go for the push. He is going for a fake plant, hoping for Cypher to make a push, but no, it was a wrong timing. And that wrong timing will cost ZFC their win in round 7 Basement Church. As you take a look at it in the instant replay, round 8 will proceed, and looks like ZFC is slowly making their way in towards clickbait. Talking about Revoke though, oh boy, unfortunately he's caught red-handed.
Yeah, unfortunate Revoc, but we may or may not have seen, we may or may not have seen what happened on on our feeds very clearly. I think he shot the gun instead of actually shooting Twitch's hands, and the UMP unfortunately has a pretty slow fire rate, and he loses that gunfight. I think, yeah, we probably shouldn't be talking about it too much, if you will. Going forward, we're going to be headed to second floor CCTV and cash room from the side of the defense. ZFC taking a round, and a much needed one at that.
To be honest, it actually kind of I'm really sorry for that, Jack. I just kind of reminded, the Twitch and the Pulse, Canadians saying you're playing Twitch, Geo. I'm using the worst gun in the game.
I have to say, Baba, that one does not work in this situation. The Pulse would have had to win that gunfight for that to be applicable. I'm sorry. But going forward from here, ZOC, they're one round away from equalizing. Team Clickbait still have a lead, but it's just a one-round lead. They will need to, give themselves a couple more rounds, win a couple more here, but it's attack on Clubhouse. It will be difficult. That much is assured. Now, how difficult really depends on how the side of ZFC plays and how Clickbait works to play against, sort of counter that play style that ZFC is bringing out. Again, this match definitely a lot more close cut between both teams than the previous one that we had on stream. Throw Syndicate definitely showing excuse me right there, D3 space what for. This time around, not so much. Even if it comes down at the end to a 7-4 at least, I think this match isn't going to be anything less than a 7-4. At least that's what it looks like to me for the time being. It's still going to have been a very good close game between both sides. RD Scanner coming out from Teddy wants to find those defender utilities. That's actually somebody on their cams. He could take them out. Could be Revoc as well. But of course, he'll need to actually find that angle through there to actually get that kill. Meanwhile, Gunmaker, this is a very risky rappel that he's on right now. Could be taken down by the Jaeger, excuse me, Sergi CT, but the man himself is, of course, on his cams, giving away positions of the IQ. Very ironic that Teddy's position is given away by a Val cam. The IQ probably need to swing that RD scanner around just a little bit more. The Valkyrie will now know where Teddy's location is. When the pre-fire from the G8 will not give him any kills. Revoc is, well, he's actually got roughly the same amount of HP that Teddy does, but, well, Teddy is going to go down. That's Cypher to take the kill from inside of output as Boom goes down. Meanwhile, Luxia takes that one. He's already inside his side. It's the Ash main shenanigans as he's got a double kill right now. Revoc goes down to somebody else in the meanwhile, but Fragger will come in with his own double to make this round his own. SMG-11 in hand. And he's got the diffuser drop on the CC window as well. Gas canister goes out. As he and Cypher have to make something of it, but no, Fragger will go down. Now it's all down to Cypher, the last man standing. Red Stairs is the area that he is playing on. While, oh, well, actually, he's going to push up and get the kill, get it down at the very least. He might even be able to find Super King any second. Now, Prefrag comes in and he will! 1v2, and the man does it. Beautifully done by Cypher right there. Oh boy, excuse me right there. Beautifully done by Cypher to secure that round for his team. Team Clickbait couldn't quite hold on, if you will. And now it's a 4-4 going into round 9, second floor gym bedroom, the side of choice, as Zendaya fan club are fighting back hard.
Well, talking about the previous matches itself, we do know that Zendaya fan club is very powerful on defense, especially on their qualifier matches against Team Sunset Ninjas, and also the previous match where they had no problems on clubhouse defense. This time going up against Team Clickbait, it is of the same result. 2 defender wins. Basement Church and second floor CCTV goes to them. And with it, the next round, round 9, will be on second floor gym. A very difficult site here for Team ZFC to be defending, but it shouldn't have much of a problem if they are very confident is to try to contest against Team Clickbait. But for now, talking about the operator's picks here, we will see Boom bringing in the Legion T5 SMG and also Revok bringing in the Valkyrie. Although we don't see Daddy Oi thinking of bringing in the IQ again, because the way how we try to get a good amount of information, I'm not saying that it was bad, it was a very good information to try to say exactly where Revok's location was, but the problem was that the angle that he was holding on was at a hard wall. It wasn't a soft wall to even try to go for that attack. And oh boy, Revok had a bit of a problem here. So he was about to enter a third dimension, but thank God he's came back to reality and make sure he'll be able to get that win for their team. But for not talking about the round itself, it is 4-4. ZFC did equalize their round count in the second half, being in a very good streak here. 2 wins on defense. Can they make it the third here? Knowing that Boom will be defending in towards Cash Room. Good amount of reinforcements placed at that specific spot. He even has, help with the Jaeger as well. Nade will come in from Gunmaker to try to fend off some of the defenders or try to take out the utilities. Maybe a Banshee deterrent, but the push though. A good drop and also a good kill. With the refrag coming in from Revok to try to take out one Super King, the other take out Fragger. But here comes Revok yet again to try to make amends here. Double kill for him. And with it, the round, actually the man count is equalized yet again thanks to the Valk. And boom, one single crouch button is all it needs for him to get taken out from Super King, unless and until he focuses in a different position here. Looks like Boom is patient enough, knowing that there is one in towards windows of construction. Just needs to wait for that exact right moment to go for that elimination. Although Revok is here for the support, and so does Cypher. The only main problem here is that the attackers push in towards logistics and also in towards specific spot has been halted. But wait a minute, did I just saw an ace pushing in towards bathroom? Yes, it does. And even Gunmaker is going to reveal his position via the Banshee deterrent. And looks like the defenders have no idea. Maybe they don't even have a clue on where exactly Nox's location is. This might be huge here for Team Clickbait. All they have to do is going for the plant, in which they will evidently do. And looks like they're just patiently waiting out here with a beautiful kill yet again, taking out Legion this time, bringing a 2v3, and with the post-plant situation will come in on the side of Team Clickbait. It all goes down in the hands of Revok to make his play or maybe get an ace in his hand, and looks like it's going to be the Melusi who's going to take out the Sophia in towards that window. The sprint will come in, try to get that refrag, but unfortunately doesn't see the ace perfect location. But here comes Melusi yet again. Cypher taking out Nox. He puts it in a 1v1. All he needs to do is find Gunmaker. He's currently in towards the main stage. The push is an aggressive push. Will come in to try to scare off the attacker. C4 will come in. Will it connect? Almost survives. He doesn't see the push. He uses the hip fire and wins that gunfight. Does he have the time? No, it does not. He only has 5 seconds. And unfortunately, even with that clutch, Clickbait will win that round due to time. And with that instant replay coming to an end, unfortunately, ZFC's attempt to make that clutch happen fortunately could not have happened at all. With it, round 10 will proceed, and Clickbait will be the one in lead. They will switch back to the side basement chest. This is the second time where we do see ZFC winning these clutch moments. If they just keep going at it, if Clickbait doesn't see this opportunity, especially try to strengthen their post plan situation a bit, this couldn't have happened in the first place at all. But 4 to 5, this is a huge deal here for Team Clickbait. All they have to do is just try to keep up their momentum, making sure that they'll be able to deny those clutches as best as possible. Let's see what's going to happen with the side being on basement church and Arsenal room.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Oh boy, that could have gone so very differently for the side of ZFC, but they didn't realize that the plant was actually going down by the side of Team Clickbait. They were trying to play for offside retake, and while Cypher did manage to get those 3 kills, they were just too late to begin with. Offside retakes are usually a pretty difficult thing to play, especially for second floor gym bedroom as a site, because it offers many little areas excuse me right there, many little areas that attackers can make use of should they find their way in there. And that is what we saw Clickbait do. They got in and they used those nooks and crannies to give themselves the round itself. And, you know, their post-plant hold wasn't exactly the best in the face of Cypher eliminating everybody. Unfortunately, that 1v3 could not come out to complete fruition because of course, the fact that the diffuser timer had already gone past the point of no return for the side of the defenders. You need 7 seconds to get the counter defuse off, of course, and well, as we all know, that didn't quite happen for the side of the defense. Now we're gonna have those vertical lines of sight being made by Luxia to try and deny the impact tricks coming in from below. Boom has already spent both of his impacts, actually, and he's so far been able to deny the main hatch breach, but only, I would say, delay it rather than deny, primarily because Ace still has one more summer breach. It will go off. Meanwhile, Revok's position has been given away by a Jackal scan. Not too good. Excuse me, they're not too good for the man himself. He's got to be pretty careful in his positions should they be given away, even more so by Jackal, and should he be found and taken care of. Minute 40 on the clock for the side of Team Clickbait. They've made good headway towards Kitchen. They just have to be careful of their flank should somebody get the bright idea to go all the way around and take them out from above. And in the meanwhile, ZFC have to be careful about both the dirt push and the push from Kitchen main stairs should Clickbait decide to go through those particular areas. Now, with a minute 15 on the clock, this is a very important round, ladies and gentlemen. C4 is going to go out from Cypher, but no, it doesn't quite go all the way. Can he retrieve it? Yes, he can. He's going to try again because there is somebody on main stairs, but no, the C4 won't connect, as Boom will relay that intel to his teammate, Gunmaker. He's got a grenade in hand. He wants the smoke taken care of. It will go through, at least take care of the shield. Fragger himself has to be so careful. Second grenade comes in, does a good deal of damage. Smoke grenades going out, but Nox is already going for the plant. This could be huge right now for the side of Clickbait. If the plant is not denied, somebody takes a bit of damage, but no, it is post-plant, and Nox will push out to actually find one. Teddy's Claimer finds Sergi in the meanwhile, but he didn't know that there was actually somebody inside of dirt. He gets taken out by both Revok and the smoke, and that's a 2v4 as Super Team finds Cypher. It's now all down to the last man standing. The Valkyrie on the main stairs gets it down, and a kill. Revok on the double. He has to ace this, and he won't. Teddy will get the kill onto Revok instead, making sure that the Valkyrie does not take excuse me right there, does not take this round in any way possible. Team Clickbait, they are the ones to hit match point, and they were the ones to go 4-2 up on roll swap. They have continued the lead that they had taken. Even when it got equalized, they never actually went into the deficit, and it shows right now. For them, they are looking for this game. ZFC, they are definitely going to look to equalize. 2 rounds to go. Will it happen? CCTV and Cashroom We're about to find out.
Well, distracting Fragger is all it needed for Noxy to go for that default plant in Arsenal Room. A job well done here for Team Clickbait for going for that
Defenders,
distraction,
protect your
making
bombs
sure
and
the
defuse
plant
it.
would come in and also get that win, pushing them on match point. Talking about ZFC though, they've been not at good terms lately. 2 rounds lost in post plant situation, not knowing at what time the post plant did go in. Most of the smoke canisters were focused in towards tunnel, but not in towards that default, in which it led Clickbait to go for that post plant situation. A very great play, a very good play, in which Clickbait needs to, keep that pressure going. And talking about this pick here from Super King, bringing in the Amaru with the secondary hard
5
breach,
seconds to go.
we might be able to see her trying to, get an instant access in
Attackers are
towards
moving
the
out
main
to locate
stairs
a
by
bomb and defuse it.
if she spawns in towards the construction site, in which she won't be. Actually, yeah, she won't be. We will see Noxy spawning in towards construction site, whereas Amaru still have no idea where she would go for that aggressive peek. Currently, she is spawning towards the mains. She will hold an angle from CCTV. No, she's not going to open up any barricades as of just now. She's going to. I'm just so bad at making predictions. But talking about it, ZFC needs to
Bomb
hold
located by
this,
attackers.
round, at least to win 2 of these defending rounds, to make sure that they'll be able to get back in the game. Talking about this flank here from Reebok, he's just currently doing his roaming duty as of now. We'll be able to gain some information via the Val cam. So does the attacker drone, spawning exactly where Cypher's location is, and with it, he unfortunately goes down. Quite unfortunate. The nade will come in, but will it confirm? No, it does not. It actually went outside the CCTV wall. How unfortunate. But still, Gunmaker still has one more, in which I believe it should succeed, taking out the Electro Claws. The Cypher is still down in towards CCTV, but the Ash's breaching charge will take out Cypher nice and quickly. With it, Teddy needs to be careful with the push. What exactly happened? The timing with the KSOU lifeline will give Reebok the opportunity to get that kill. Quite unfortunate. Looks like Reebok has found a way to get that kill, and with it, an equalizer as well. 4-4. And also the control of Lounge will go on the side of Valk. With it, the tension is brewing on the side of ZFC. They need to hold their ground unless Clickbait will be one step closer to get this win against ZFC, and this should not happen with them. And talking about time here, they're doing quite a lot here. 1 minute for Team Clickbait to make their play. They have to go for this push, in which the Ash is making his way in towards the main stairs. Try to hunt on the Valkyrie as best as possible, trying to make sure that the default C4 would not work out. The smoke gas canisters will fend off that push in towards the main stairs, but at what cost here? Luxia slowly making his push in towards garage. Need to be careful of Sir G in towards garage catwalk, in which he won't, with a beautiful C4 taking out Super King. And with the 30 seconds, Clickbait not in a good mood at all. 2v4. Noxy still has the diffuser in hand, so does Gunmaker, who doesn't have any frag grenades at all. And with that push, they will make a decision to push in, but Reebok is still here for the rescue. Triple kill for him, taking out Gunmaker. And with it, Noxy will be the only operator left on the side of Team Clickbait, making that break. Prone Peak will come in to take out Fragger, but he still needs to find 3 more, in which one of them is still in logistics and in cash. And looks like Clickbait will try and will not go for that pick at all. ZFC, a good hold, and also great plays from Reebok, winning round 11, second floor CCTV. And I feel bad for Teddy because of that timing, that he did not knew where exactly Reebok's positioning was, gave Reebok the kill and also the win for ZFC. With that, ZFC is 1 round away, and again, we are at a round of ones here, ladies and gentlemen. One win for Team ZFC to put this match in overtime, and 1 win for Team Clickbait to get that win. But unfortunately, with Luxia, unfortunately disconnecting, looks like we just have to go for a pause and just wait for him to come back. Hopefully, it shouldn't be that much of a problem, because according to Teddy he said that it was a game crash. But talking about the first half itself, if I try to talk about the Team Clickbait here, Luxia was getting picked off quite early in the rounds in the first half, but we did get to see in the second half where Luxia started to make some impressive plays and also getting those early picks as well. This changed the entire tide for Team Clickbait to make some plays and also win two post plant situations here. Two post plants, which was on second floor gym and basement church. All they have to do is try to force them in a post plan situation such as similar on round 9 and 10 so that they could keep that pressure going. They just have to keep pressuring Team Clickbait is to make these mistakes as they did do it. I mean, they just need a bit of distractions. They just needs to force the particular defenders to be in a different location where the attackers have already have their eyes on them, and just all they have to do is just wait for them to push in, get those kills, and also get that win as well. The same thing can be said to ZFC2, although those 2 round wins that Clickbait had would put ZFC in a very tough spot here, because if they don't win this round, they would give this win to Team Clickbait, eventually putting them in the second position, whereas Team Throw Syndicate will be in the first position, having that high round conversion rate. So with it, Luxia will be back in the game, and also with that ready confirmation, we'll be able to head in to the match and also head into round 12, where the site will be on Basement Church. So, Jack, quite a very heated round here, don't you think?
Oh, most certainly. The round of ones coming out from both sides is going to make for a very interesting round indeed. Clickbait, 1 round away from winning it all, finishing it off right here and giving themselves this match. While, of course, NFC, they're 1 round away from equalizing, going for overtime. And Cypher, oh boy. Oh, well, okay, so very odd turn of events right there, as Cypher was the one who was so still for so long. We thought he would disconnect, but no, it's somebody else that Thursday's TT instead. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think either team wants to go into the round of ones. They're both very nervous, as we just had a disconnect in the middle of the prep phase. We couldn't pause because well, of course, we couldn't pause in that situation. Yeah, it's the prep phase. So now we have to wait a little longer before we get to the round of ones, as it were, waiting for Sergi CT to come back. Well, now actually it's a full Rio, so we have to get all the team members back in nice and quickly. Hopefully it doesn't take too long from either side, if you will, to join into the lobby and show us that they are ready to get this game underway for what could be the final round or the final 3-4 rounds, depending on who takes round 12. And I have to say, all in all, this has been a fantastic game so far. That I don't think anyone can deny for tonight's game. But of course, this isn't the last game of the night. There's still one more to go after this, and that is yet again going to continue forward the theme of a team from Div 2 that got demoted versus a team that has qualified in this season. Red Vipers will be taking on Ground 9 Esports, and as we all know, say it with me now, it's on the map of Clubhouse. There we go once again. It's Div 3, ladies and gentlemen. It truly is Division 3. Clubhouse, Oregon extraordinaires everywhere. But I believe, Foxy has spoken at length about how we feel about the repetition of Oregon and the Clubhouse, so we don't need to get into it anymore for the time being. I'll leave that up to him when he comes back for casting, whenever he does, that is. And we ourselves, of course, we like Oregon and Clubhouse. Don't get us wrong, but seeing it back to back the way we do every single day can get a little tiring. It can get a little repetitive, and that's not exactly what we want. We want variety. We want to see maps like Theme Park, like Villa, like Cafe, Coastline, and it's all there. And there is a reason that multiple teams emphasize on multiple different maps. It's primarily because you don't want to get stuck onto one map, and in the event that it gets banned, you have a bit of an issue playing on any different map for that match, right? For instance, say any team that's really good, right, on Clubhouse or Oregon, one of those maps gets banned, right? And say they're deciding, all right, okay, this map got banned. We still have the other one. It could be either Clubhouse or Oregon, depending on the situation. And the other one gets banned as well. And we end up going to Theme Park for that match. What do you do? How do you pace yourself? You know, multiple maps are required, more than just two. That's how we feel as well when it comes to things proceedings here at the Esports Club. So if any of our Div 3 members are watching, please do know that while we love these maps and while we understand why Clubhouse and Oregon are played as much as they are, please let us see something else. You know, we don't want season 5 to be just a Clubhouse repetition. It wouldn't be fun. And, it wouldn't end up being too conducive for high energy games. Or no matter how great the games themselves end up becoming, it would still leave us with that aftertaste of not Clubhouse again, with the whole eye roll and stuff that I know that all of our viewers do. We ourselves do that off cam every now and again whenever we see Clubhouse coming up these days. So it's just that, a little bit of a PSA. I know I said that we didn't want to talk about this, but we ended up talking about it anyway. But point notwithstanding, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going back to round 12 very shortly indeed. Just one player remaining from the side of Team Clickbait to join in, and we'll be back with the match as soon as we can be to see if Zendaya Fan Club can clean up on the mistakes that they have been doing and equalize on a time that they really, really need to equalize on. Or will it be the side of their Team Clickbait to take this round for themselves? I had a bit of a bit of a brain lag moment, if you will. But yeah, all in all, looks like both sides are in. The Rios has been used from the side of Zendaya Fan Club, and we'll be going back into the match right here, right now, in fact. Just making sure that everything is set and ready, and that the teams know whose Rios has been used and who had a little pause just a while ago. And, it's ZFC and Clickbait in that exact order. Going back into the match, 5-6 is the scoreline. Basement Church and Arsenal Room will be the side of choice, and let us join the players live on your screens right here, right now, as round 12 is underway.
Round 12 is a round of ones to determine whether we would see a win or will we see overtime. Talking about ZFC, they are on the brink of losing, so they just need to make sure that they wouldn't lose a lot of early kills and also an early picks as in the moment. But talking about it, the entire round though
Attackers need to locate and
shouldn't
defuse bombs.
they just need to make sure they wouldn't be pressured or just be in a very difficult spot. Going the side on Church, because in round 10 they weren't attentive enough to know if it's not going to be or not. And that's the reason why they lost. That's the reason why they lost in that round in the first place. But for now, Fragger, with the shotgun, making both of the holes from the hatches to make sure that even if Ace tries to place his summer breaches right at the right side of the hatch, he'll be able to use that impact need to try to remove it as best as possible. But talking about the cams in which Clickbait did try to eliminate, making sure that they wouldn't have information, this would be a good phase here, because they've already know that there will be one of the information cams being placed in towards kitchen. Eliminating them would give the denial of ZFC's information. This is exactly what they need. Although the yokai drones will be their main problem as well, especially if they do try to go in for that plant. So currently, Boom will be able to hide those first, so that when the attackers go for that push, they'll be able to eliminate it as best as possible. For now, Fragger will be holding in towards tunnel, knowing that they might go in for that distraction yet again. They just need to open up the wall. They just need to, do their, standard stuff first. Drone works, making sure that there isn't any roamers presence, and then slowly making their way into opening up the hatches, the walls in towards tunnels, and then go for a fully fledged push in towards blue. Although this is a very good Val cam here, showing where exactly the information in towards main stairs. Currently, they'll be able to detect where Luxia's location is, in which the defenders are prepped and ready for their attack. Secondary hard breach will come in from Super King to open up the hatch in towards the Moto. And that was just one hatch. They just need to open up the other two hatches in which they haven't reopened just yet. Boom, still holding that angle. He knows that Luxia is providing some major distractions here, and that distraction is going to cause a lot here because there is two players holding that exact three players. I do have to apologize. Three players who are still holding that angle, and the impact needs will come in unless and until if the attackers decides to open up the wall in basement church. Although quite a lot of times in waging around here, again, one single drone out to decide what kind of push that they have to go for. The Zofia is prepped and ready with her impact needs to make that vertical lines of sight, and Gunmaker will continue his work opening up the stock wall. Although he needs to do it fast because they don't have enough time left. 1 minute, the C4 will come in, affecting to no one, and with it, time's ticking, Clickbait has to go for that push.
It is effectively speaking now or never for Team Clickbait. They need to get in and they need to get this plant off. Time is of the essence as Cypher will peek on towards main stairs. Not going to get anybody. Unfortunately, the drones gave away his position. Luxia still can't quite get in there, but Noxie will. As Teddy starts things off by finding Boom. That's a big drop, and Searchy CT goes down as well. Gunmaker with a huge one, and now it's all down to the 3v5. Make that a 2v5. Fragger to fall, and Noxie can find the Valkyrie. No, he can't. That's the diffuser drop, but Teddy finds him instead. Diffuser will be recovered, but no, the Malusi's come in, but he will go down as well. Cypher, he tried to get himself and his team the round. He had the diffuser, but unfortunately, he tried to run into sight to give himself some better cover. Ended up running straight into the waiting barrel of Gunmaker. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the second game of the night. I know that we had an extra long pause before coming back to this eventual 7-5 victory, if you will. But we managed to give ourselves a pretty interesting finish, I should say. And Team Clickbait definitely, they read into what ZFC were doing and they took their time to drone. That was the big thing that they needed to do right there. Drone themselves in, and they did it very well indeed. 7-5 victory on Clubhouse over Zendaya Fan Club. Team Clickbait will start things off for Div 3 on a positive note. ZFC will have to be just a little bit more careful, a little bit, maybe, potentially some would say a little bit more aggressive in certain situations. Not all the situations, mind you, because going all aggro isn't exactly a good idea either. The balance needs to be achieved. But of course, we'll talk about that and more in Relive the Moment, where we go over the best moments and the not so great moments in the match that we just had. And honestly, starting things out, Clickbait had a very good start, I should say, especially down to the fact, down to the way Super King played this round, right? It was a 2v2. The counter defense had to come in. The Kaid had just died, and he still managed to peek vertical and find two people. Super King, the man of the hour, quite literally, for that round. Clickbait, but they found themselves going up against ZFC, of course, and ZFC, as we all know from the qualifiers, is a team that while they might not be the best in certain situations, in terms of their attack, they definitely had issues with their droning, their intel gathering primarily, as in not just drones, of course, and some utility clearance and positioning issues were there. But I will say that if they manage to clean up on those admittedly not very big issues, they might just be able to give themselves a bit of a better breather when it comes to defender-sided maps. Now, of course, the fourth round, for ZFC's attack wasn't exactly the best example of how they could potentially clean up on their issues and whatnot, but it could definitely start from there, the round where they unfortunately messed up the most. Now, Teddy, oh boy, this round could have so been his. He didn't even need to get the kill on the Ash. All he needed to do was bring out his secondary and just hold behind that overturned mattress. And then again, Super King. That was a very weird decision from Fragger. I will still say, I'm not sure what prompted him to plant right next to the door of Red Stairs, and I'm not sure why there wasn't cover to take out the visual already. But even then, as it were, Team Clickbait managed to take the round off of that because the diffuser was dropped, of course. And then going into post round 7, ZFC started firing back in a really good way. Clickbait could have had a lot of these rounds that came down to, one could argue, manageable situations. But It wasn't to be. Noxy. This clutch could have been his, but unfortunately, he didn't hear and react to the Malusi approaching in time, and Cypher managed to take him down. The 1v2 was his. And of course, we all know what happened thereafter. It's just down to Clickbait making mistakes in when they should go for pushes and gunfights on the attack. And that unfortunately has seen them be taken out in multiple rounds. Hopefully they can clean up on that, and hopefully ZFC can clean up on the issues that they have had, because that will make for some very interesting games in the future.
Well, the future is big here for Team Zendaya Fan Club. It's just their first match as of yet. We still have much more matches to go in Div 3, knowing that we still have 3 more weeks to go. And for Team Clickbait, congratulations to them. They will at least get to the second spot, having that 3 points and a total of 2 round conversions. For now, talking about this round itself, Clickbait in attack, all they had to do was to just force ZFC to put it in a post plant, and it did work out well here. Although some of the round we did get to see ZFC clutching those rounds, but in the end it was just Team Clickbait getting that highest chance of success. This is exactly what they did in the end as well. All they had to do in the end was just wait to get some early frags and just try to pressure them, try to pincer them in towards the site, and looks like it did worked out well in the end. All in all, an impressive performance from ZFC and also a great performance from Team Clickbait. But with that, we still have one last match to go here. Team Ground 9 Esports going up against Team Red Vipers. And the map will be on Clubhouse yet again. We did get, just like Jack said, Team Red Vipers, who unfortunately got relegated from Division 2, and Ground 9 Esports, who did succeeded in the qualifiers phase to get their spot in Division 3, are going to go head-on-head against each other, and we'll be able to determine who's going to win it out. But for now, we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after this.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 Alright, so let's move on.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD Black the Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and our broadcast partner Booyah. As we are here, of course, your hosts Blackjack and Baba Gusta, and of course our match admin Eisen for the final game of the night. That is right, the last game of day 1 of Div 3 in Season 5. Plenty of numbers right there. Is about to be underway. Ground 9 Esports versus Red Vipers, continuing the theme of a team that has qualified from the qualifiers, obviously, and a team that has been demoted from Div 2 going up against each other. So far, the teams from Div 2 down to Div 3 have been the ones to win, i.e. Team Clickbait and Throw Syndicate. Can Red Vipers also continue that trend? Let us find out by joining the players live on the map of Clubhouse right here, right now. Ground 9 attacking, Red Vipers defending. And of course, we had this discussion about Clubhouse and Oregon repetitions in the Pro League in the previous match, so there's no need to get into that right now. The first ban of the map, interestingly enough, from the side of RVZ, is going to be Blackbeard, while Ground 9 are going to ban the Jackal. Very interesting decision making right here, as Blackbeard on Clubhouse. I don't necessarily agree with the use of an attacker ban to take him out, but I do kind of agree that Blackbeard as an operator is definitely divisive, and his ability is one that honestly shouldn't work the way it does. I think a Blackbeard rework is something that is needed to a degree, if you will. And a Jackal, of course, being banned, it's very standard, but nothing to be unexpected from the side of attacker bans. Mira will be banned in the meanwhile from the side of Ground 9. No surprises right there, as and when it comes to Clubhouse, Mira bans, well, when it comes to just bans in general, Mira is an operator that gets banned a lot. And for the final ban of the night, Red Vipers will decide to ban Malusi. So none of the standard Clubhouse operators that we get to see banned, no Thatcher, Hibana, or Maverick, Kaid bans and whatnot. It's a very different ban set that we're looking at. Blackbeard, Jackal, Mira, and Malusi. And with the ban phase already done and dusted, we're going to be heading into round 1. But before we do, let's have a look at both the rosters that are here in the lobby for us today. From the side of Ground 9, we've got Neuron for Ninjas, Abid, Shannon, and Shreds. And from the side of Red Vipers, we've got Anaconda, Bear for Surreal, Seth, and Ali G. Basement Church and Austin Room will be the side of choice, as the very first round is about to be underway. 6th pick coming in from Seth out of the Kaid into the Valkyrie, and a 6th pick from Shreds, actually, out of the Zofia into the Hibana. And I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Baba Gusta, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, match 3, the map will be Clubhouse yet again. Red Vipers be the one on defense and Ground 9 on attack. Talking about the operator specs here, Ali G will bring in the Warden, not the deployable shield, but the C4. Talking about the C4, we only have 2 players who currently has the possession of that utility. So does a total of 3 impact needs on the side of Team Red Vipers. You have Bearfur and Surreal playing as the Womai and Legion. Talking about the attackers, though, you have a pretty standard, pick. Especially, bringing in the Thatcher, knowing that he isn't banned. It's just they just banned the Blackbeard as well as the Jackal, so that they'll be able to make sure that they would have maximum chances in winning in gunfights. Although we're about to find out in the action phase itself, we will see the attackers, especially the hard breachers, doing their standard work, opening up the walls in towards tunnel, and also the Hibana, who will make her way in towards the kitchen to open up the hatches on the map Clubhouse. You technically have all 3 of them. You have the bar hatch, you have the stock, and also the last one, which is in towards kitchen. Now, the only problem is that they don't have proper information as to where exactly these players are currently positioned. Talking about it, we only know that Team Red Vipers have made a decision to not play any roam plays. Just wait for their... It's just a standard turtle hold coming in on the side of Team Red Vipers. A pretty standard, anything much going out of the ordinary just as of yet. With the hatches being open, and now the attackers clearing out their specifics, their specific work. they'll be able to continue doing their work in trying to get that control of the Arsenal room. Now, they still have to worry about the third one, in which they will open it up. The push is mainly what I'm excited of. Currently, you see one of the players pushing in towards Oil Pit, and also the other two who is currently pushing from the main stairs. A beautiful C4 from Seth, and also a good valve placement to even get the kill, taking out Shreds immediately. An impressive kill, and also Ali G, not quite sure. I mean, basically, he just got a fat finger from that C4, but he'll be able to go for that be able to recover that utility as best as possible. But for now, losing that one player immediately in the mid round itself would give Ground 9 a very bad positioning here. The flashbangs will coming in towards blue. This is going to be a blue push. Coming in on the side of Team Ground 9, the drone will get taken out, but the push has to happen in which Fadin Jazz gets one, Prefer gets the other. And whether they are slowly making their way in towards the Arsenal room, no, it does not. The denial will come in from the Valkyrie as well, trying to contest, and so does Surreal with the MP5K taking out Abir Rahman. And with it, Neuron will be the last player on the side of Team Ground 9 to make their play. Currently holding in towards the blue, doesn't have the diffuser in hand, neither some of the utilities, although he does have a drone, doesn't have in his pocket. But still, he needs to make a play here. Talking about the attacker's positionings, there is not likely a chance that Neuron might be able to win this gunfight. He only has 20 seconds left to do so. He's slowly creeping up in towards the rotation of both the sides in Church and Arsenal room. So does have that information. Slowly creeping up, will be able to disclose his location, and with it, Ali G will be able to go for that perfect kill, taking out Neuron. With the Red Vipers, won't have any problems with it, winning round 1, Basement Church, and also give them their first win on defense. A good start for Team Red Vipers, as they'll be able to win their first defensive round. As we proceed to round 2, the site will be on second floor gym and bedroom instead of CCTV. Now, I do understand why they would go for second floor gym. It's mainly because of Thatcher being in play, and also going for that denial is a no-go. Even if you do bring the bandit charges, there is high likely a chance where the Zofia will use her concussive nades to try to disorient bandit and make sure that it does not happen. Technically, that's the reason why the side will be on second floor gym and bedroom. As we proceed to round 2, talking about the attackers picks here, we do see one intel ops, one trap operator. That would be the smoke with the total of 3 smoke gas canisters. Also, I forgot to mention about the Legion as well, with the Legion Go mines that would restrict the attackers from sprint. Talking about the attackers, though, you have the Nomad to focus around the flank spots, and also the standard 2 hard breaches, as well as Neuron with the Thatcher. Round 2, Ground 9 almost having that opportunity. They did finish up some of their recent works. I mean, when I said recent works, I was talking about Basement Church Hold. The only problem was they forgot about the Valkyrie camps, which was giving Red Vipers huge amount of information, and that information cost them to win. But for now, in round 2, we only have one intel off, which will be nearby towards the site. Just have to worry about removing the default camps, and then they'll be on their way to try to get that control.
Well, it's obviously going to be just a little bit more complicated than that in terms of the process that comes out from the side of Ground 9. They need to make sure that, of course, any denials on any of these hard walls are taken care of as soon as possible. And that, of course, will involve a flurry of soft breach mechanics and, of course, the EMPs from the Thatcher. CT wall is going to be blown wide open via the Ash for Dean. He's going to make sure of that nice and quickly. But of course, in the meanwhile, you have the summer breaches coming in on the other side. Looks like Ground 9 wants to emphasize on this pincer push as soon as possible, but they're going to have to go up against Anaconda and Seth towards the side, of Red Stairs and Cash Room. It's not going to be easy. Definitely not. For these changes position in the meanwhile, as there we go. Evil Eye will be taken care of nice and quickly. Good stuff by Abid and his teammate Neuron, And with a minute 40 on the clock, they've got plenty of time to do what they do. Said the meanwhile is going to push out aggressively, get one, and fall back nice and quickly. But down to the meanwhile, confirmation comes in. There we go. And that's your Maestro doing work. Befer, I think he wants another. He's hungry for it. You can see it in the way he's moving about. But he knows he has to be careful in the peaks and decisions that he makes here. Ferdine caught between a rock and a hard place. He can't exactly do too much to progress into CCTV, so he'll decide to fall back through garage. Neuron finds one more. In the meanwhile, Bearfrey goes down. That's a Maestro. The refrag is going to force Surreal back into sight. Ali G, oh boy, that could have been his head, but it won't be. Takes out the Nomad's air jab. That's from Shreds, of course, who himself is on the roof. Looks like Ground 9 are a little confused on where to go right now. They only have 50 seconds to make this play and this round, by extension, their own. As we have just a little bit more to go. Red Viper still holding on advantage, but Seth has to be careful in this position that he's holding. Of course, he's got Surreal to cover for him. Should anybody jump in either from the bedroom or the gym window, as Ali G holds down inside of logistics. 25 seconds on the clock. Time is ticking. This Ground 9 is starting to push in. Neuron has to be so careful. Shots are fired, but he will somehow go through all of that and try and get the plant off. Oh boy, this is big. And Surreal has to try and deny it. I don't think he can. Airship goes off, and the plant will go off as well. 40 seconds now, and Red Vipers are on the disadvantage. They need to make this work. As Surreal finds Neuron, Shreds found Ali G in the meanwhile. 2 versus 3. One more air jab goes out from Shreds, but he can't find the kill. It's Surreal with a double, and now it's all down to the 1v3 of Ferdine. He finds one, and there's one towards CCTV. Doesn't find him. Instead, will he manage to counter this? He won't. Gets taken out from Anaconda. SMG 11 in hand, and Red Vipers will get the counter defuse off successfully. Surreal gonna get it done. There we go. Round 2 goes the way of the Red Vipers team. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Not the best example of a gym bedroom hold, but at the end of the day, it was still a fairly decent hold, and that's what counts in this situation. A decent hold is all they needed in to get one up over Ground 9, who seem to be a little bit slow to start today. At least that's what it looks like to me. Second place CCTV and Cash Room is now the site of choice, as Red Vipers have taken 2 very good early rounds on the defense, taking almost full advantage of Clubhouse's defender-sided nature. They need a few more to go, however. Excuse me right there. As it could be that Ground 9 starts fighting back real hard anytime now.
Well, that fight needs to happen for Ground 9 if they want to get in the lead, or just try to go head to head against Red Vipers, knowing that they've won 2 defensive round, even with the post plant being brought up on the hands of Team Ground 9. Unfortunately, they could not figure out a way. Talking about Red Vipers though, very strong round here, especially from Surreal, making some surreal plays, I would like to call it. But also on the side of Ground 9, Ferdine Jazz has been making plays of his own as well. But unfortunately, he was quite open with the windows, couldn't try to contest with the CCTV window, nor the player in towards Jim, where he was basically have to worry about both of the angles as of now. But for now, Ground 9, still, they were so close. They were so close as to winning that second floor gym. Maybe they might win second floor CCTV, knowing that they won't have any problems opening the walls on CCTV. Although they have to worry about the runouts, in which the Ash will be able to place a claymore right from that main garage entrance. Shreds will also be there to place the air jabs to make sure that even if they do take out those claymores, the air jabs will be able to make sure that they'll be able to catch 1 or 2 defenders. The breaching charge will be used to open up the hatch in towards logistics. So maybe, I believe this is going to be a construction push on the side of Team Ground 9. The drone works and also the Ash, who just dropped in towards logistics, will make her way, destroying default camps, making her way in towards construction to make sure that she would have the good information that she requires. Shreds, again, with the flank watch, a good use of the air jabs as well to make sure that the flank watch from defenders would not happen. And Ace, finding that leg of the Legion, unfortunately won't be able to deal a bit of damage as of now. Talking about time itself, Fardeen Jazz will completely, gain control of construction as well. She just have to open up a few distractions for the defenders to worry about. But they do have to worry about that C4 though. The Seth taking out shreds in towards the site of bedroom would put round 9 in trouble yet again. This is the third time we see the early kill going in favor of Team Red Vipers. If they do not keep up the pace here, ground 9 will be repeating history as they were repeating for the past 2 rounds here. That's where the EMP, this would disable some of the utilities in towards the walls on construction. She's just prepped and ready for the push, but also Shannon with that kill taking out Surreal, followed up with LSMG-11. The shotgun, not quite sure exactly what happened at that moment, not being able to do it. But Neuron will be able to catch hold of that situation and put Red Vipers at risk, knowing how, dangerous that situation was. 3v3, Ali G gets a kill as well, taking out Rahman, and also Seth sees the head of the Thatcher, but misses the opportunity yet again. And also not finding any opposition just yet, but Ali G still figures out a way here, eliminating one, gets one more, taking out Neuron, and with it, Fardeen Jazz will be the last player standing in towards Cash, but unfortunately goes down in the hands of Ali G himself. 4K for him as Red Vipers will win round 3, second for CCTV. And also, we take a look at it in the instant replay. Round 4 will commence. And with the side for Red Vipers to defend will be on Basement Church yet again. 3 round wins on the side of Red Vipers and no round wins on attack on the side of Ground 9 Esports. Unfortunately, things are not looking well in their favor because they're not bringing in the IQ to detect where exactly those Valkyrie cams are. Talking about those Valkyrie cams, if they don't look at those instances, if they do not check those important cams, they are always one step ahead to get those kills, especially that early kills that we did get to witness for the past from the previous round itself. So they just needs to worry about those information games coming in from Red Vipers, and it should be good to go.
I mean, other than that, a thing that Red Vipers will definitely need to do better on is the way that they handled the situation in that previous round. I have to say, the smoke trying to get that kill onto the downed attacker, that was very messy. And also Seth's attempts at getting a kill through the hatch of stocks was also very, very messy indeed. He didn't even get a kill there. It was all down to, excuse me, there, Ali Jeans out of sight. And the Jaeger made it count. But oh boy, that round could have gone very south very quickly for the side of Red Vipers. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Barefoot seems to have taken a bit of damage due to Anaconda making that rotate into blue. Needed to be a little bit more careful, both of them actually, in that situation. As I'm sure Barefoot will then his teammate know, but Ali G's gonna go down. Hello. A bid is gonna find that first kill. And seems like that was on that stock stairs area. Potentially just outside of that, there could have been a spawn peek coming in from Ali G or a cam run out. Something of that extent. But of course, it got taken out nice and quickly. With that being, already underway, it's gonna make things a little bit more difficult for Red Vipers. Why do I say that? Because it's a C4 already gone, and when you're defending Basement Church, you want that C4 in your hands as much as for as long as possible. It can become a great little clutch play mechanic. As for Dean, interestingly enough, he's not even going to bother to switch to 4 pellets for a hatch. He's going to use up a 6 and a 6 like we always used to see Hibana use before. And I have to say, I'm interested to know that Red Vipers have not brought in a Kaid. Though I get it now that I look at the, now that I remind myself of the ban phase, there is the Thatcher in place. So bringing in a Kaid wouldn't really do too much, as the kitchen hatch will also be breached. No impact tricks coming in from Red Vipers. A minute 30 on the clock, and already we're seeing Ground 9 make some serious headway towards site. For Dean himself, he's gotten all the hatches open, and now he's already going towards side. But no, here's Seth to make a play. He's found Shannon. Big drop, but he will go down. The refract comes in from Shreds, and that's a 4v3. Make that a 4v2 as the Wamai goes down inside of sight. A bid with a double, and now things are looking a little dicey for the side of Red Vipers. They definitely got a little bit too far ahead of themselves in this round, taking some gunfights that they really probably shouldn't have been. Anaconda with a long toss of that smoke grenade, but Noah Bid's already in for the plant. Will he be denied? No, he won't. Anaconda's got to deal with the cover. He won't be. As the Hibana comes in to take the kill, Bearfriend in the meanwhile is dealing with somebody from the kitchen. Ass drop. That's for Dean, and he will be the one to take the kill instead. The Hibana comes in with the double to finish. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a very quick and a very good take indeed from the side of Ground 9. Something that they needed to throw off Red Vipers off of the rhythm that they were building. And they did it quite well, I should say. 3-1 is the scoreline with the first round being taken by the side of Ground 9. Basement Church and Austin Room will now be the side of choice once again as Red Vipers comes to grips with the situation that they found themselves in the previous round. I don't think they were expecting things to go as quickly as they did in the end. Pretty sure they wanted things to take a little bit more time for it to saturate just a little bit more. It didn't. And it was primarily down to a quick take on the hatches by Ferdine and then a push out through to Dirt, I believe. That man, not Dirt, excuse me, the main stairs. That man did quite a lot of work in that last round, let me tell you that much. And that, of course, gives himself and his team a round and a foot in the correct direction of potentially winning this game. And there needs to be a mini comeback in this first half itself, which means that they need to win 2 more rounds, equalize, go into defense with good momentum in hand, and then look at winning this game from there. Red Vipers, on the other hand, of course, they've made sure that they don't lose the lead while they're on the defense, but they can't afford to lose 2 more rounds from here because the momentum will shift. Ground 9 will stand a better chance of taking it because they will be going into defense with a huge amount of momentum going in their favor. Round 5 hitting action phase, and this is going to be a very interesting round. Couple of rounds, indeed.
A very interesting round, knowing that Ground 9 Esports has to do this push yet again. This time on the same site, Basement Church. They just have to do exactly what they did in the previous round, breaching church wall and then go for a smoke plant. Although they just need to worry about those early kills, in which I believe it was Rahman who actually got that first kill, taking out one of the players. But this time it's going to be the Hibana in the hands of Seth. This is a very important kill, knowing that the Hibana is taken out, which means there is only one hatch that the attackers can only open, and they need to figure out a way on which which hatch they have to open, because this is not going to be a good day at all here for Team Ground 9, knowing that Red Vipers, especially Seth, getting that important kill, it was so much for them that immediately crippled Ground 9's push immediately, knowing that they got that important pick, and they decided to make sure that they'll be able to hunker their ground as of now. And I believe the Ace will start his work. Instead of opening up the hatch, I believe he'll just decide to push in towards Basement Church itself. Although the motor hold will be very strong for the defenders to contest, and that's the reason why you see that vertical lines of sight being made here from the Nomad, so that he'll be able to try to take out the players who try to hold that angle, unless and until he tries to be very aggressive. Seth is still holding that position, knowing that he did remove the Hibana, which would pose Ground 9 in a very difficult positioning here. Although Seth will destroy the dome, and also the Summer Breeze charge will proceed to go for that pre-fire, which would pose a threat here for the attacker. Sees the gun barrel and also takes out Rahman with the diffuser, gets a triple kill as well, taking on Neuron. She needs to find 2 more for the Ace. So will it happen though? Sees the leg but doesn't get the shot as of now. But unfortunately gets taken down as well in the hands of R6S. Shannon taking out Seth. The damage is already done. 40 seconds left for Ground 9 to make a play. Diffuser's been dropped right at the hallway of Basement Church hallway. But still, knowing on how desperate Ground 9 is to push in towards the side, they've lost so many man counts, they've lost so many time, they haven't opened up a single wall, not a single hatch. They have to rely on gunfights, and the defenders exactly know what kind of push that they're making as of now. So Real goes for that free fire, will be able to get one, and with it, the Nomad will be the last man standing. Will push in from the same side and gets taken out with the MP5 case. So Real taking out Shannon as Red Vipers will win round 5. Basement Church thanks to Seth. taking out the Hibana. Oh boy, I just got too into, I just got too energetic at that time. Taking out, all Seth had to do was just eliminate Hibana, and that was it. Stake out Hibana in the early rounds and make sure the Ground and Esport would force themselves to push in at one specific angle. And they did exactly that. Well played from Red Vipers and Ground 9 Esports. They have to worry about these kinds of mistakes. If they make these aggressive picks, you just need to make sure that you have a teammate who's watching your back and also should be doing drone works to give vital information. With it, we will proceed to round 6, where the site will be on second floor gym,
Defenders,
and
protect
let's
your
see
bombs
whether
from being
Ground 9
defused by
Esports
attackers.
will get this win on attack.
They may not, depending on how they play this round, really. Red Vipers has, again, for the most part, relied on nothing more than the basics. Something we see with Division 3 starting off for any given season is a team relying on what has brought them this far when it comes to competitive Rainbow Six. They know that they need to emphasize on their basics. They do that, they play the standard stuff, and then bring out some more experimental things should the situation demand it.
10 seconds left
In the
before
meanwhile, of
insertion.
course, Ground 9, their attacks unfortunately have left just a little bit too much to the imagination, and they haven't quite been able to really secure themselves good leads. And something that, of course, the previous round highlighted, something that Baba Gusta touched on, was the fact that as soon as Seth took out the Hibana, excuse me right there, things were made a whole lot more difficult because they only had one hard breacher, not enough hard breach potential to take out all the hatches and put the side of Red Vipers under pressure. Ground 9 needed to bring a little bit more utility and needed to play around the fact that their Hibana could get taken out. They didn't. And unfortunately for them, that lack of preparation was what did not allow them to get this round for themselves. Again, it came down to the fact that as soon as the Hibana was gone, the round, well, we all saw where the round went. Ground 9, they're going to have to try and, play around this fact from this point onwards, as Grain's going to come out from Shannon to try and deny the, oh, well, excuse me. I was going to say deny the evil eye of the Maestro, and the Maestro gets down and taken care of. That's from a bit Selma. Oh boy, that was a little unfortunate for Bedford right there. He decided to be very aggressive on that wall of a bathroom, got taken out. Unfortunately, as Neuron, I think he took that Selma to the face, unfortunately, but he's going to have to pick that back up as soon as he can and redeploy it elsewhere. Oh, actually, he can't. I think that's fallen onto that breached wall. So it's going to detonate by itself. Really unfortunate. Seth, meanwhile, going to do some damage to a bit. Not a whole lot, mind you. The Jaeger can't get a whole lot off of that. In the meanwhile, we have the Legion taking one more. That's Shannon off the board, 4 versus 4, and looks like that was a peek onto the logistics hatch. Again, a good way to take a kill. And Ali G has just put this round into a little bit more perspective, but with a minute remaining, the other push coming in from the bathroom. Surreal needs to see this. Seth will find one instead, and the Wamai is safe because Seth is here with a double. Can he find a third outside of the gym window? He's peeking, but Ferdine will find Anaconda instead. Seth has to be so careful, but no, triple! And now it's a 1v3. All down to Ferdine Jazz, the last man standing, as he is more than content to go up to the roof and try and find a different avenue of entry. Excuse me right there. That is going to find him going directly into the line of sight of Ali G. Very unfortunate right there for Ferdine Jazz, and overall very unfortunate first half for the side of Ground 9 Esports on the attack, as the first half lead goes to Red Vipers with a mammoth 5-1 score in their favor. Now, of course, comes the real test of Red Vipers. They're going to be on the attack on the other side of round 7 roll swap, while of course, excuse me right there, the side of Ground 9 are going to be on the defense going forward from here. Basement Church and Arsenal Room will be the site of choice, as round 7 is a go.
Seth, the man who made a record of highest kills in the TEC Rainbow Six Siege, still makes wonders for Team Red Vipers, currently having a total of 10 kills in this match against Ground 9. The man who's been making quite a lot of plays for their teams, but this time we'll be able to see how aggressive and relentless he is on attack as well. And talking about the attackers, talking about the attackers pick, so we won't see a Hibana being picked, but instead we see Anaconda bringing in the Thermite and Bearfur with the Ace. Although we won't be able to see an Ash being brought up because you have Surreal bringing in the Sledge with a total of two grenades. But the main thing that they have to worry about is the Kapkan's EDDs. Now, those EDDs, if the attackers do not
Objective is to locate a bomb.
drone those sites properly, they might get tagged with a total of 70 HP, which would force them to be in just 40 health, which would put the defenders in a very good spot. All they just have to do is just hit one shot to the body, and they would force themselves to be. I mean, they would force to be downed, but not out. With the action phase coming in, Shreds will barricade the tunnel door, and also no roamers, no roam game coming in on the side of Team Ground 9. We will see two Intel ops and one Intel denial off, which would be the Mozzie, bringing in a total of 3 pests, which would put the attackers in a very less Intel-ish kind of situation. But for now, their main focus is to open up similar, hatches, the kitchen hatch and also the main hatch, which would be in towards bar and stock. But they have to worry about some line of sights. They have to worry about some, roamers being present on the side of Team Ground 9. But unfortunately, talking about Ground 9's positioning, we don't see any of them going for roam duty, but instead they would decide for that aggressive play. Abid Rahman, a very bad idea to go for that pick, and with it, Ali G will get that kill, taking out the Kapkan. And looks like the defenders needs to be very careful around here. With the Moto hatch being opened, the attackers are holding an angle here, making sure that the push from Moto does not happen. And also, they are slowly making their way into getting that access in towards Basement Church. Now, all they have to do is to open up the walls into Basement Church, in which the Asalma breach charges will happen. And let's see what's going to happen with this executes as Red Vipers are slowly making their way. The Alda will claim the life of Thatcher, puts it in a 4v4 recovery. But at what cost? We're about to find out at this minute.
Less than 60 seconds remain, and that drop onto Seth was definitely one that was much required for the side of Ground 9's defense. Oh dear, Neuron's gonna get a double off the back of Surreal not hitting his shots there. Unfortunate, Neuron will live as the yellow pings are coming out onto the Ace's location. Bearfur's got to be so careful. He is so close. Actually, that's Ali G now that I look at it. Oh, no, that's actually Bearfur. Never mind. I just saw the 2x scope and I thought, that's probably somebody else. That wasn't. Oh, boy. He could be found by the... Oh, no, he won't be. Ali G's going to come in and find one more. 2 more, actually. Triple kill to him. And he could make this work for himself. He's the man with the diffuser. No, it's Bearfur with the diffuser. He's going to come in and go for the plant. Ali G just needs to hold 2 angles to be watched right now. And that main hallway. All of these so perilous. As Bearfur's going to find one more. That shreds out the board. It's all down to Shannon now. The Pulse. Last man standing. Where even is the man himself? In the hallway from the looks of things. Yes, he's coming through to the door of church. He could be found any second now. Bearfur has to look around as Shannon. He's trying to get this just a little bit more. And there we go. Bearfur will take the kill as Red Vipers will win round 7. Looks like the attack of Red Vipers will be just as potent as their defense, ladies and gentlemen, because it is a 6-1 match point for the side of RVZ. However, of course, we've had to take a little bit of a pause because Ferdine seems to have had a disconnection right in this round, at the beginning of this round. So it's a pause, of course, nice and quickly, and we'll make sure to get him back as soon as possible. After all, the match isn't quite done yet, and Ground 9 could still make this comeback. Sure, it's 1-6 down for them, and some could say that they are indeed down bad. But going to CCTV and Cash Room in this round, they could start taking 1 round, then 2, then 3. And then more and more as they go along. That would be huge for them, and that would certainly be something that they require. However, it seems like the problems facing Ferdinand are not allowing him to join back. That is very interesting indeed. Hopefully, one of our admins can go and check out the situation and get him back before the pause timer runs out. But I have to say, these 7 rounds that we have had so far have, for one, been very interesting. Reveals quite a lot about the way Red Vipers are approaching Div 3 this season. After all, again, just like Team Clickbait and a little bit like Throw Syndicate, Red Vipers did not have a good season in Div 2 in Season 4. They were all the way down at the bottom of the table. That's why they got relegated to begin with. And that is why we will see if excuse me, they can make things work again in this situation. Like I said, these promotions and demotions aren't exactly up to us. It's mostly down to how the teams play, win, or lose their matches. And Red Vipers, some could say as a team, they are definitely a team that deserves to be up there, but they weren't quite all there, if you will, for the last season. They didn't pull off a performance noteworthy enough to stay in Div 2. They definitely fought hard towards the end, but if you've had a bad beginning and mid, fighting towards the end is like, a little sputter of a flame. It can't exactly be sustained, not without some luck. Red Vipers didn't have that luck, unfortunately, and they got relegated as they are now fighting to be top of Div 3 for the final season of the Pro League. Looks like Ferdinand has returned in the meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen. So we will be going back into the match as soon as the ready confirmations come in, and we'll be joining our players once again in this matchup. Red Vipers are ready, and there we go. Timer has been resumed, so let us join our players for what could yet be the final round of the match at the 6-1 scoreline. Second floor CCTV and cash room will be the site of choice in this match point round.
Match point is in for Team Red Vipers, and also I actually kind of love that Zofia, when she started playing Ring Around the Roses with the pulse, to even win that gunfight, and also the way how aggressive she pushed in just when the Ace started opening up that priest wall to try to contest against the Maestro. Ace exactly knew where his location was just by giving that information. All Zofia had to do, she gets 2 more kills, one which is on blue, one was near the walls on, one which is near the door on Basement Church, and then forced him to be in a post plant. Job well done for Team Red Vipers, but for ground 9, they still have a lot of ground to cover, especially the way how they were defending especially how they were attacking in the first half itself. It looks like they did not expected that sheer aggressiveness coming in on the side of Red Vipers. Even on defense too, they just couldn't understand how Red Vipers are pushing and trying to get those kills. Talking about the way how they were, playing in the previous round with where the site was on Basement Church, we didn't get to see any Romus presence being played, but this time we will be able to see that roam game coming in on the side of Team Ground 9. We have Ferdinand Jazz bringing in the Vigil, the K1A submachine gun with the SMG-12 as his secondary. Now Neuron will be able to make yet another line of sight, interestingly enough opening up the hatch in towards blue. Whether the Ace's Selma Breach charge will open up the walls in towards CCTV, there isn't any resistance being put on from ground 9, not even a denial either from the bandits charges or from Mute's jammers. I believe they're just trying to lure Red Vipers into a trap. Talking about 2-minute mark though, they still have to worry about Ferdinand Jazz and the way how Red Vipers are slowly making their way in towards construction. They just have to open that wall up so that they would create much and more distraction. They even have to open up the CCTV window as well to create confusion around Ground 9's line of attack. And talking about confusion, Bearfur is going to eliminate the rumor for Dean Jazz, who was currently in towards the garage catwalk. So one of the defenders are forced to gain control in garage. If they do not, then that means the attackers are one step closer to gain control in towards the site. The impact nades will come in to try to take out at least one of the sleds of his thermal breach charges. Looks like quite a lot of damage being dealt here. Bearfur slowly making his way and also getting that kill, taking out the bandit. And now he will push in towards Cash. Sees the back of the mutant, gladly gets a triple kill for Bearfur. Will he get the quad? No, it does not. An instant denial will come in, and also the information saying that there is 2 players in towards the main stairs. And that's all Red Vipers need to do. But Shred is still here, shredding the players, and so does Shannon, taking out Ali G. Surreal goes down. Looks like Ground 9 has made this a turnaround. But looks like Anaconda is still survive. Whips out the Musoc, and with it, it will be a 1v2 situation. Actually, a 1v1. It's the FBI operator versus the FBI operator. The Thermite versus the Pulse. The UMP in hand sees the head. He's gonna get it. Red Vipers will be able to win that round. Round 8 goes to them with a successful clutch from Anaconda's 1v1. And with it, they'll be able to win a 7-1 scoreline against Ground 9 Esports. What a dominating way to start off the round here, and also what a dominating way to end this match as well. Wonderful plays from Seth from both attack as well as on defense. And looks like with it, we'll be able to see that scoreboard. 10 kills for both Seth and Ali G, the man who's making quite a lot of plays and also providing good amount of supports for their team, as they will be the one to win the match against them. With it, and that would actually conclude the entire first 3 matches around here, ladies and gentlemen. Starting off with the first match, it was Throw Syndicate versus Team D3 Space. 7-1 was the scoreline on map Coastline. The second match was ZFC versus Team Clickbait. The map was on Clubhouse, 5-7. And then at the end, we did get to see Ground 9 Esports going up against Team Red Vipers. 7-1 on map on map Clubhouse. With it, we'll be able to see the real actually we'll be able to see the highlights of Ground 9 Esports versus Team Red Vipers. Not quite sure what exactly happened at that moment, but for now we'll be able to check on back to the highlights, see exactly what exactly happened with those 2 halves that we're going to explain it right about now. Starting off with the first half itself, we did get to see Red Vipers not having any problems dealing with Ground 9 style of attack. Even with the number of post plans that they even go through, they did recover that round without having any problems dealing with Ground 9's line of attack. Although there were some mistakes, especially Seth with the MPX trying to eliminate the players into who were trying to get the control in towards the construction window. Most of them, they didn't get much of the kills, but it was Ali G who was making all of those heavy duty lifting, getting those triple kills, making sure that the plan did not work, and also getting that win in round 3 as well. The only round that Ground 9 Esports did win was on round 4 Basement Church, and that round they didn't had any problems at all. All they had to do was just eliminate some of the important players, and that's all you had to do. But talking about the drone works on Ground 9, we don't get to see a lot of hard breaches doing a bit of drone works, but instead we do see them in the front line trying to contest against the players, and most of the time they actually gets taken out, and that's exactly what Seth did, taking out Hibana in the earliest round itself, denying any hard breach from either opening the hatches or from the walls, which forced them to push in from one direction, and unfortunately they couldn't do anything at that moment. And then exactly we did get to witness the last round, second for CCTV, where did get to see Anaconda making his 1v1 clutch, as I might recall it. One of this team was downed. All he need was just information, and that information he gladly got by opening up those walls at the right exact time. With that, Relive the Moment will come to an end, and so does the first stream of Div 3 as well. Jack, do you have any more thoughts on this entire match around here?
All in all, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, it was definitely a very interesting thing to see. You know, the whole theme of the day was the teams that got demoted from Div 2 fighting against the teams that came up in the qualifiers. Even the offline match that we had today was of a similar trend, if you will. And it seems to have been that the teams that got demoted from Div 2, well, they're not happy about being back in Div 3. All of them, actually, won their matches. Throw Syndicate won theirs, as did, of course, Excuse me, right there. We saw Red Vipers just win theirs, and Team Clickbait barely managing to get one over ZFC. Now, of course, it's going to be a lot more mixed up, if you will, between the teams, and maybe we might see another day of this team. After all, 3 teams got demoted, 4 teams qualified, so there's definitely plenty of room for that. But of course, enough talking about future potentials. We're going to be ending things off here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and coming back tomorrow for Division 3 Day 2. These teams will be back on your screens after tonight, coming back tomorrow once again at around 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Until then, that has been it from myself, Blackjack, my co-host Babagusta, and of course our match admin Eisen, and we will see you all tomorrow with Div 3 Day 2 for the final season of the Pro League. Stay tuned and good night.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't